The NTT INDYCAR Series draws into Gateway for the Worldwide Technology Raceway Bombomano Automotive Group 500. Hello everybody and welcome to what is going to be a fascinating race. The championship is very much on the line. We're getting ready for the green flag to go out. Let's join trackside with Tom Gatemore and the team.
And that AJ Foyt machine with a technical affiliation with Team Penske, making it 4 Team Penske cars really in those top 5 slots, with the outlier Pato O'Ward in 3rd. Top Honda, Marcus Armstrong down in 6th. He's got his teammate at Meyershank behind him in 7th, Felix Rosenquist. Now, Meyershank have that technical affiliation with Chip Ganassi, but they are the 2 cars that are ahead of any of the Chip Ganassi cars. You've got an Andretti Global car in Colton Herta there in 8th, Alex Palou 9th, and then Kyle Kirkwood, the only other racing driver to win a race in the IndyCar Series in 2025, rounding out the top 10.
Nestled just off the Mississippi lies a short track where speed is king and every corner counts. A place where emotions run high and the line between creative and out of control is razor thin.
Crash with Rossi in power!
What was that? Unacceptable, man.
This is where title chances are realized and dreams are shattered.
Should have penalty. Never win a championship.
2 drivers have graced victory lane this season.
That was a perfect run from Carl Kirkwood. Vindication for Alex Palou.
The question remains, can this Midwest Oval offer a gateway to redemption? Or will a new face emerge? Who will survive the chaos of the night? Round 8 from St. Louis.
Yeah!
This is IndyCar on Fox.
Well, it has already been an incredible weekend of racing, but now the icing on the cake and a special Father's Day treat. The Bombomano Automotive Group 500 here at Gateway in St. Louis. Welcome to the NTT IndyCar Series live on Fox. And as day turns into night, what a race we have ahead of us. What a track we have behind us. Guys, my first time at this circuit. It will be my first time seeing IndyCar under the lights live. What can the folks at home expect, Townsend?
Well, for all of IndyCar, this is the first time that we've ever raced on a Sunday night. And to do it here in St. Louis is something special, because I believe that all of us have a wild side. And for these 27 drivers out here, no place connects more with their inner wild child than Gateway, this racetrack at Worldwide Technology Park. Last year, it led to all kinds of drama as everybody was going for it on a late race restart. We ride on board here with Scott McLaughlin as leader Joseph Newgarden, slow to take off, and behind him, the chain reaction took over. Alexander Rossi into Will Power, several cars taken out in this. It was a huge moment that revealed just how angry everybody was that got caught up in the incident. So tonight, expect exactly the same thing. Good, hard racing on a Sunday night. IndyCar, it doesn't get any better than this.
It really doesn't, and I love coming racing here because you've got to be aggressive. You've got to get your elbows out to make moves here, and I've already got my eye on one driver in particular. That's young David Malukas for AJ Foyt Racing. Fresh off a 2nd place of the Indy 500. He qualified on the 2nd row here, but this is statistically his best racetrack. First 2 career podiums were here, and that doesn't even include last year when he was fighting for the win late in the race with Will Power down into 1 and 2, trying to make the pass, got a little bit high, led to contact, led to a DNF, but he knows how to get it done around here. He's so confident. He's starting up front. I think we could see a first career win for David Malukas here tonight.
Fascinating stuff from you guys. We can't wait for the race, and of course our intrepid pit crew down on pit lane bringing you all the latest news from down there. Georgia Hennebury.
And I am here with David Malukas. He's going to roll off fourth today. You've been second here. You've been third here. How can you capitalize and make it to the top spot of the podium?
Yeah, I mean, I was just watching that highlight. You told me they were going to hype me up, and I just see myself crashing. I don't know what they were saying over there. By the way, Townsend Belt, wow, that's a nice suit. All three of you guys dressed up real good wherever they are. Are they up there? I don't know. Up top? You guys looking good. What was the question? How are we going to get it done? Yeah, we're going to be, it's a good team. AJ Foyt guys, they're on it this few days here, this weekend. Man, it's going to be a fast one. So we're going to be right there in the end, hopefully, and we'll see what we can do.
He's got the speed. We'll see if David Malukas can do it. And now to our very own Jack Hollywood Harvey's Grid Walk.
Well, thanks, G-Money. I'm here with Farmer John. It's your first time at Gateway watching INDYCAR. You have been to a NASCAR race, first INDYCAR race. Well, how are you feeling right now?
I'm ecstatic. I mean, this is the coolest experience I think I've ever had in a while, and I'm really excited to see it started.
Who are you rooting for today?
Who else than my man Alex right here? Very excited to see this go.
Good answer. And celebrating your first Father's Day today, how's your little man doing?
He's good. He's at home, hanging out, learning solitaire, you know, normal things.
Picking that up off Dad already. Are we going to see the big undercut strategy from ECR tonight?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
You know.
I do.
Give us a snippet.
Absolutely not. People are watching.
This is true. Thanks, guys. Have a good race. One thing that's a tiny bit annoying about this grid is it's super far away from each other, and a lot of the drivers are already getting in their car. One thing that was really interesting about row 5, though, the only people who have won a race this year starting on row 5, Kyle Kirkwood is one of those drivers. How you feeling tonight, bud?
Good. I got my helmet on.
I see that.
I was about to hop in the car. Yeah, everything's good. We're starting 10. See how it goes.
Have a great day, buddy.
Thank you.
We're getting told that all the people that we were hoping to talk to bring you this great info from are all getting in the car. We're going to keep rolling past and see Colin Hurters on the other side. Give him a wave. Felix Rosenquist hanging out over there. Been absolutely flying. The whole MSR team have been absolutely flying all weekend. I'm looking ahead, and honestly, it looks like everybody is kind of in their cars. Well, Joseph Newgarden, we're just about to walk past. He won here last year. Last time he won. Let me give him a quick thumbs up and see how he's doing. You good? Feeling good for today? 2 thumbs up. Well, guys, wish the grid walk had been a little bit more exciting for everybody. The race is coming up next. We can't wait to see what happens.
Poor old Hollywood Harvey there, left high and dry, with all the drivers getting into their cars before he managed to get a snippet of information from them. Right, what to expect around this track? Chaos probably covers it. 260 laps, 4 to 5 stops. And lots of you staying awake in the UK. 1:15 on Monday morning local time. So Joe has just messaged in, Alice as well, Mark Mandel, Art, F1 Ed, and yeah, Jarvis watching the last waltz, Jean Pollock, and F1 Bear Doggo. So lots going on in Europe with Le Mans, and then of course in North America with the Formula One. It's been a long weekend for the motorsport fans, so those hardened IndyCar fans getting in touch and watching here tonight will be treated to a wonderful spectacle. This really is a race where we expect all sorts of shenanigans. The head of the snake will catch the tail of the snake fairly quickly. Will be under lights. Expect and watch for the pyrotechnics down the back straight on the formation lap, but also the sparks as the cars run around this 1.25 mile oval. Big talking points this year, of course, Alex Palou's dominance, Team Penske, what went on with their senior leadership team being fired in the run-up to the Indy 500. It's been 9 months since a Team Penske driver has visited victory lane, but they've won 9 of the past 15 races around here, so don't discount them. Kyle Kirkwood, we saw Alex Palou win his first oval race ever at the Indy 500. Carl Kirkwood has never won on an oval. David Malukas has never won an IndyCar race. There's so many talking points heading into this. Let's head back now to our Fox team to continue the build-up.
So much going on in St. Louis, not just IndyCar racing. Of course, the National Blues Museum is here. Notable musicians include Miles Davis and Chuck Berry. Notable sports people too, Jackie Joyner-Kersee and Yogi Berra. And of course, we cannot be in St. Louis without mentioning the Cardinals' 11 World Series titles. But today and tonight, it's all about the 27 drivers of the NTT IndyCar Series. So let's take a look at the Bob Marito Automotive Group 500 starting grid.
I'm Jacob Abel from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hi, I'm Kevin Simpson from the Cayman Islands.
Christian Rasmussen, I'm from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Robert Schwartzman, born in Israel, Tel Aviv.
Stingray Rob, Pitt, Idaho.
Graham Rahal, Columbus, Ohio.
Louis Foster, Odium, England.
Nolan Siegel, Palo Alto, California.
Santino Ferrucci, Woodbury, Connecticut.
Rinus VK, Hoofddorp, the Netherlands.
Devon DiFrancesco, Toronto, Ontario.
I'm Callum Wylot, I'm from Cambridge in the UK.
Connor Daly from Noblesville, Indiana.
I'm Christian Lundgaard from Vejle, Denmark.
Marcus Eriksson, Kumla, Sweden.
Alexander Rossi, Nevada City, California.
I'm Scott Dixon, driver the #9 PNC Bank Honda from Auckland, New Zealand.
I'm Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida.
Hello, I'm Alex Palou. I'm from Barcelona, Spain.
I'm Colton Herta from Valencia, California.
Felix Rosenquist, Värnamo, Sweden.
Marcus Armstrong, Christchurch, New Zealand.
Joseph Newgarden, Nashville, Tennessee.
I'm David Malukas, grown up in Chicago, Illinois.
Pato O'Ward, Monterey, Mexico.
Scott McLaughlin, Christchurch, New Zealand.
Will Power, Toowoomba, Queensland, Australia.
And that is your starting grid. When we return, you will get to see them race under the lights in St. Louis.
Talk about exciting. It's going to be dramatic. Let's check in with once more Tom Gatemore.
Joseph Newgarden has won 5 times around here. Scott Dixon has won twice. Will Power has won once in 2018. Those are our race winners that are racing today. Rookies Jacob Abel, Louis Foster and Robert Schwartzman, along with veteran Christian Rasmussen, will make their first start at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. There's a look at the entrance to turn 1, and as I said, this very much a compromise for the drivers that need the mechanical grip in turns 1 and 2, but 3 and 4, it's all about aero efficiency. It should be wide open for the cars that are well balanced on light fuel, not too much in the way of tyre degradation. And the other big talking point is this is the first race weekend where we are returning in 2025 with exactly the same package that we had in 2024. Don't forget, the hybrid came in last year at Mid-Ohio, so all of the tracks that we've raced at so far, we've not had that direct comparison. This race has moved up the calendar in terms of, here we are in June, it was sort of August, September last year, can't quite remember off the top of my head, but this was a race where we had the hybrid fitted in the cars in 2024. They've returned here now in 2025, so the drivers and teams, they know what to expect. The engineers do as well. Talking of engineers, Michael Cannon back at Dale Coyne. He's the maestro in terms of excuse me, he's the maestro in terms of the brains of getting Chip Ganassi cars, Team Penske cars, whatever it is, AJ Foyt cars to victory lane on the ovals at Indianapolis. Expect him to do wonderful things back at Dale Coyne. Eric Lightly is back at Prema with Robert Schwartzman. He's a SpaceX engineer, used to be at Team Penske, ran that car to pole at Indianapolis. He's only doing the ovals with Prema and Schwartzman. So Eric Lightly, another very highly regarded engineer up and down the pit lane. Right, drivers are in their cars. We are almost ready for the formation laps. Then we will be going green very, very shortly. But let's head back now for the command at Gateway.
We're back in St. Louis with a packed out crowd. Wherever you are watching from, you are very welcome to our broadcast. We want to wish every father out there a very happy Father's Day as we go trackside now for the command.
Race fans, it's time to give the command for the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Please welcome the president of Bommarito Automotive Group, John Bommarito.
Race fans in the stands tonight, and the millions more watching from all over the world. Welcome to one of the greatest shows on four wheels, the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Quick shout out to all the amazing dads out there tonight, especially our founder, Mr. Frank Bommarito, and my father. God bless you, Dad. This is for you. Drivers, start your engine!
The command is given and we're ready to rock engines. Welcome to JB Motorsports and US Around's coverage of the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Gateway Motor Speedway. It's Monday morning in the UK, Sunday evening over there stateside. We're ready to go green.
5 miles in total length, varying degrees of banking at both ends of the racetrack. Turns 1 and 2 has a little bit more banking than 3 and 4, and the corner radiuses are different. You're going to do about 45 to 50 laps on a tank of fuel here. Expect these guys to stop at least 4 times to make it all 260 laps.
Quite the grid set up as McLaughlin struggles to get away. And he was on the front row of the grid. We'll try and get it restarted. Has the hybrid on board his car, which allows him to restart from the pit lane if indeed he can do that, or if the problem is something a little bit more complex that the team will need to look at. This, well, it's 2 ovals in a row now for McLaughlin that he's had problems before the race has even got underway. He crashed on his way to the start at the Indianapolis 500, but he gets the engine fired and will make his way out and should be able to make his place back up on the grid to the front row.
He will. We'll be able to see him weave his way through for this 3-wide parade lap. They will start 2 wide, but for Scott McLaughlin, that must have been a quick little moment of panic if you think back to what Will mentioned, the warm-up lap crashing out of the Indy 500, James. That's dicey stuff right there. It's good to see him rolling again.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling, isn't it, at the start of a race? All this work, all this preparation goes in to getting here and putting on an IndyCar race, and to get to the command to roll off pit lane and have an issue with the car right off the bat. It's definitely a heart in the throat moment, but everything all good for Scott McLaughlin.
The funny thing is, with a 3-wide parade lap, it's a little harder for McLaughlin to weave his way through and get back up there. Maybe he's going to elect to wait until the first parade lap is done. We'll have to see how he plays this.
When he does take his place back at the front, it will be an all-Penske front row.
Yeah, this is it there, front row. It takes us with Will Power, Scott McLaughlin, and Pato O'Ward, David Malukas, Joseph Newgarden, Marcus Armstrong, Felix Rosenquist, Colton Herter, Alex Palou and Carl Kirkwood, Scott Dixon, Alexander Rossi, Marcus Ericsson, Christian Lundgaard, Connor Daly, Callum Eilert, Devin DiFrancesco and Venus Vique, Santina Ferrucci, Noah Siegel as the fireworks go off and the flamethrowers activate. We're all set to get going. VK in 18th, Ferrucci, Siegel, Foster, Rahal, Stingray Ross, Schwartzman, Rasmussen, Simpson and Abel all ready to go.
Display of pyrotechnics here at Gateway. Absolutely incredible.
Right, before we get this thing started, let's take a closer look at the car that we will see racing today with the Dallara cutaway car, guys.
So one of the things we're going to hear a lot is the difference between the high line and the low line here at Gateway Raceway. The low line, that's just down along the white line of the racetrack. You get all this nice clean air on you, but if you're following the car in front, you can see that air take some of the downforce off the car. So the high line, that's just being one car width off that line to give yourself some clean air on the car.
And the truth is, you almost never find perfectly clean air. It's always a bit of a compromise, but cars are going to be slicing and dicing, and it might be pretty subtle. You might only get, oh, there's some debris on the track from that explosion coming out of those fire cannons on the back straightaway. It should just be, you know, some paper and tape. But let's head down to pit lane. Georgia.
And we can feel those explosions down here on pit lane 2. I have my eye on Will Power, the greatest qualifier in NTT IndyCar Series history, 71 career poles, 5 here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and just yesterday he got Team Penske their 700th pole across all motorsports platforms. You see on your screen right now, Liz Power, that's Will's wife. She told me that their son Bo is peacefully sleeping in their bus right now, but if Will was to pull it off here on Father's Day, they might whisk Bo away to victory lane. Talk about a Father's Day surprise and a good dream there. Kevin?
Georgia, Alex Palou has won 3 of the last 4 titles and is dominating this year's championship. But until 3 weeks ago, he had never conquered an oval. But now he's won the biggest race in the world, the Indy 500. But this is very different. He's not led a lap here. And Palou told me tonight he desperately wants to get it done on a short oval. More comfortable each year. The best car he said he's had here. Maybe not as strong as the Penske's, but he should be a factor. Jack.
A driver achieving an absolute huge milestone tonight is Graham Rahal. This will be his 300th start in the IndyCar Series. To put that in some context, that is the 3rd most of active drivers and 11th of all time. Congratulations to Graham on a great career, and also my driver to watch, a guy who knows how to move forward on these short ovals.
Great stuff, gang. Thank you so much for your insights.
We're going to be hearing them throughout the day then here on JB Motorsports. We get ready for the green flag to go out. Here's our view. I'm solo up in the comms box today, so we'll be splitting between ourselves, the Fox team, and Tom Gamer as well to give me a bit of a break. Still, 260 laps ahead of us. Local time is at 7:28 as well. Will Power pole position. Let's see how it goes. It's going to be a long drag down towards turn number 1. There's still a lot more emphasis and a lot more speed coming through. It's the St. Louis 500. And we are all set to get going at the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Our second 500 race of the season. And it's always a bit of chaos when this race starts. There's always a bit of tension. There's always something just bubbling underneath that you know if there's one small mistake, one small error, it's going to be a big one. We've moved it up the schedule. Usually when we come here, we're ready to crown a champion. It's a decisive moment in the championship. Now, it's round 8 of 17. We're inching towards the halfway stage of the 2025 season. And since IndyCar's returned to St. Louis in 2017, no race has been won from pole position. Newgarden's won here 5 times. Dixon's won here 2. Power's won here 1. They've all had pole positions here. And now Will Power lines up on pole position here for the 5th time. Can he convert it to a race win? They come out of 3 into 4 over the curb, and we're all set. It's the final bit of running on what has been a magical day of motorsport action. The fans are in, the flag is in the air, the green flag falls, and the St. Louis 500 is underway. Power gets a good start. He immediately gets ahead of Scott McLaughlin down through turn 1 and 2. Colton Herter has to lift off from his middle row for batting with Joseph Newgarden and Carl Kirkwood. It's immediately David Malukas, who goes so well here, who's going to the inside line, and David Malukas for AJ Foyt Enterprises is wheel to wheel with Will Power to 4, and he will lead the opening lap here at Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Immediately trying to switch back to the inside. Power can't get through. McLaughlin's in there. So the race lead changes. David Malukas, he leads from 4th to 1st on the opening lap. Then it's going to be Power, McLaughlin, O'Ward, Armstrong, Kirkwood, Newgarden, Daly, Rosenquist. Herta's dropped down to 10th position as well on that opening gap bit. So we knew there was going to be some changes. We knew that was going to be a factor. Now we know exactly how it's going to happen as they come over the line once more. A smooth super start to start lap 3. There's Connor Daly running in 8th position. He's got Rosenquist coming up alongside him as well. Colton Herta's now taking the high line. Herta's past Rosenquist. Now he's going after Daly as well as they come through. Now Carl Kirkwood moving to the inside line. Getting up into 5th position past Marcus Armstrong, which is a great start. We've got a full course yellow already on our timing monitors. So who's gone off in the top of turn 4? Can't see anything so far as Daly goes on the inside line into turn number 1. He takes up the positioning ahead of Newgarden. So Daly goes to 7th out of turn 2. Yellow flags are out, the caution's out, and it's a spin, and it's into the back of the wall. Can't see who it is. It's Devlin DiFrancesco, who has nerfed the rear wing. So Devlin DiFrancesco has brought out the first caution of the night here, and the yellows, they do become a wrecking. So first caution of the night here, and we're only a few laps in, and it is caused by that of Devlin DiFrancesco. He's just lost on his own on the entry to turn 1. The rear steps out, he goes up the banking and into the wall. 11 degrees of banking. 9 degrees of banking in turn 1 and 2, 11 at turn 3 and 4.
So Devlin DiFrancesco under his own steam puts it in the barriers, and that is the challenge of Gateway.
Let's check in with Tom Gatemore. Tom.
That was the Little Dave Maluka show. Could tonight be the day that we change that nickname from Little Dave to Big Dave? That's what he said he'd do if he wins his first IndyCar race. And he had his knees and elbows out on that green flag. 5 laps completed of 260 here at St. Louis. And it's Devlin DiFrancesco and the Rahal Letterman Lanigan machine who brings out the first caution, losing that all by himself up at that tricky end of the circuit, turns 1 and 2. Those are the 2 corners that really make the drivers work for their money around this Worldwide Technology Raceway. Then the other name, Connor Daly, absolutely flying up from 15th on the grid to 7th, as well as Carl Kirkwood up from 10th on the grid to 5th. Those are the 2 big movers and shakers further back. If you're looking for Joseph Newgarden, he started 5th and is now 8th. And Felix Rosenquist started 7th, is now 10th. So, some big moves there, especially from David Malukas and Connor Daly. That was pretty wild from Connor Daly around the outside of Colton Herta, and Felix Rosenquist coming out of turn 4. Got that move done up into turn 1. And then David Malukas, of course, wildly quick on the top end of the racetrack, and then had that run down to turn 4 to take the lead.
Pit stop's going on.
Right, pit lane is open, and as is so often the way, cars further back.
Well, Simpson, Stingray Rob, Abel, Rahal, Siegel in the pits.
Make some changes. The teams and drivers will always look to evolve their race car, and we've already got a handful of runners on the alternate strategy. Graham Rahal, Nolan Siegel, Kiffin Simpson, Stingray Robb and Jacob Abel. They were all down towards the back, all qualified outside the top 20. They're just brimming their tanks, and they have nothing to lose doing that. Devlin DiFrancesco's car being recovered. We're still under caution. We should be going green soon.
Verizon Frontline is the advanced network and technology for first responders. That's why today they're recognizing the service and bravery of local first responders with an honoring first lap during today's race. Whether it's on or off the track, please join Verizon Frontline in thanking all first responders for all that they do. Back here at Gateway, the car of Devlin DiFrancesco, the first retirement from today's race, being carted off the track. I can tell you, while we were in break, a number of drivers took the opportunity to come into the pits and top up on fuel. They are Nolan Siegel, Graham Rahal, Kiffin Simpson, Stingray Robb, and Jacob Abel.
We talked about Connor Daly absolutely smoking that start, going bold, going high, and getting aggressive. This is Alexander Rossi, but Connor Daly started behind him. So the question right now is, where's Connor? Well, tired of pricks?
Around the outside of below.
We showed you that DeLauro cutaway car about going into the second lane, the high lane. He was in the high lane, and this was the pass on the 5-time race winner here at Gateway, Joseph Newgarden, down the inside. That was from a great run through 3 and 4, just absolutely on rails.
Let's check in with the YouTube chat. Plugs here. Good morning, Plug. Nathan says, hi JB and everyone, happy race night. I just want to say thanks for everyone for all their hard work, finding all the broadcasts, for all the great work racing this weekend. Thank you very much for that compliment, and thank you very much for your message as well. That means a lot, especially as the team has worked so hard this weekend to give some amazing broadcasting. I hope you at home have enjoyed every single second of it. Nathan, thank you very much. That means so much. And Warren, my friend, hello. Daly from 15th. Wow. Yeah, he's getting up there, isn't he, with some good stuff so far. Getting ready for a restart then, and the second getaway here at Gateway. Malukas then will restart from pole position. Power, McLaughlin are going to come through. In they go, swing it out. We are racing again here at Gateway Motor Speedway. What are we going to have? Bob Morano. Worldwide Technology Raceway is green again. Malukas goes down low. He's trying to stop Power from coming up, and McLaughlin's going to have a go here on Will Power. The two teammates going to make a bit of a ding-dong as well. Newgarden's going to get swamped. Colton Herta's going to the high line, coming through 1 and 2, trying to get some moves going on as well further back. Colin Daly and Marcus Armstrong making some balance. Ilog getting out of Lundgaard as well further back. Herta's looking like a trapped fish at the moment. He's trying to get past Rosen. He's trying to get past Newgarden and Armstrong. Rosenquist is the least of his worries so far. Power set right in the back of David Malukas to come over the line, so it's not too much of a disadvantage at the moment what's happening out there, but still they're gonna have to hold it together. Newgarden, we're riding with him now. He is running in 8th position, and we're all on the primary tyre, so it's going to be interesting. Up 9 places is Daly. Sebastian Murray up 9 places as well. I don't know why that's there. I don't think that's not us. That was in the other race. That was in the Xfinity race earlier on. No, it was in the Indy Next race earlier on. So that graphic wrong. Proof that maybe we do read off the auto cue a bit too much. But Malukas leads this race as they come out of turn 2. Down the backstretch already here. 500-mile race, so 260 laps in total that we have to contend with out here this evening. Lucas has pulled a 4/10 of a second advantage already over Power. McLaughlin will be closing in on that one. Meantime, just having a little look further in the field to see if there's going to be anybody else having a little bit of advantage. Yep, there goes the Premers. Premer having all sorts of worries as Marcus Eriksson passes Alex Palou in the Chip Ganassi Racing. Robert Schwartzman, Christian Rasmussen, and Siegel in a little battle. Siegel's trying to get ahead here of the back of the Prema of Schwartzman. The other Prema running further down the field as now Newgarden tries to cut in on Marcus Armstrong through 1 and 2 down low. Doesn't work like that. Armstrong's going to have 74% of the hybrid power left to use as they come through. And this is the first time we've run. Well, actually, no, this is the first... Yeah, I'm going to correct myself. This is the first time we've run at a circuit we've already had hybrid power before. So Gateway was the second to last race last year. So now we've ran here with hybrid before. So now the teams know what this is going to run like. They know a bit more of a better hybrid plan. They know a bit more of the Delta plan. As now Newgarden goes to the inside and gets ahead of Marcus Armstrong. So Malukas leads Power, McLaughlin, O'Ward and Kirkwood your top 5 as the situation continues. Lap 17 of 260 here for the Bomberado 500. It is Gateway. That's why we all know it's Gateway. We all call it Gateway. It's Gateway, this place. It is awesome a venue as the action continues. Newgarden Radio.
Yeah, nothing like that.
So Newgarden as well, just keep it calm, don't lose too much of your head. You've got the full hybrid power to use. Keep in the distance, keep on the attack, and see what you can do. It's a long night here, and if there's anybody who knows how to win around this circuit, it's Joseph Newgarden. 2024, 2022, 2021, 2020, and 2017. He's a 5-time winner around this circuit, and he's moving to the inside line now and gets ahead of Connor Daly. They're side by side into turn 1. Daly's going to be on the high line if Newgarden can get the power, but Daly's got so much more speed on the outside line than the excellent 2. He's able to just drift up back high. He used 28% of his hybrid power in order to do that, and Newgarden can't respond mid-corner. So he's really struggling as they come out of 4. He's already pulling the hybrid power. You can see it's activating. That's what the green bars mean, is that you're fully in use for your hybrid power. The slower the green bars on the front of Newgarden's side dash go down, that's how much less hybrid power you have to play with. So there's still going to be ups and downs. Malukas over the line, leads again. And power closing in. Georgia.
The end of the race. So there is still speed to come out of the 4.
There is your race leader, David Malukas, in the blue and white car.
Kirkwood and Daly still going strong as well as they're side by side. Their graphics still glitching. Kirkwood and Daly are still side by side. Kirkwood in 5th, Daly in 6th position. So there's still an oomph between those two drivers out here. I thought there might be a little bit of a change as they go side by side. Daly on the high, Kirkwood on the high line. Daly now swings down low. And Kirkwood in the Siemens Cambridge car just can't hold off the Junkos Racing of Connor Daly, the bright purple Bank of America livery car he's got at the moment as he streams back through. And here comes Newgarden to add it to the mix as well. Connor Daly started 15th, currently now in 5th position. He's up 11 places from where he started. A remarkable, translucent, brilliant effort, I must point out as well. He seems to have it really nicely covered. As don't worry about the fans behind the commentary box blowing the flags. I've got it all here, a fan blowing me here to get some air into the commentary box. So the flags can buffer. I'll keep hold of this. As side by side again now on the low line. Newgarden desperate to get ahead of Kirkwood. He's going to use all his power. Exit at turn 2. Pushes down the hybrid boost power. Side by side into 3. Newgarden gets through on that low line. Just like to point out, by the way, I haven't slept since I woke up 9:15 on Saturday. For me right now, it's 1:43 a.m. Monday. I have not slept at all. It's one of those days which seems to go on forever. The whole weekend for me is non-stop. So if I make the odd faux pas with a speech in the commentary this evening, just know it is completely accidental. I don't mean anything I say, and it is hard to focus on putting the words. So I'm just letting my mouth run away with me, and if I try to think of the word, it hurts. So the commentating gets good. Right now, though, it is lap 27, and I'm going to have a little bit of a break by handing over to our friend and colleague, Tom Gaymore.
It's the David Malukas and Connor Daly show at the moment, but our Team Penske keeping their powder dry because they've got Will Power and Scotty Mack sitting in 2nd and 3rd. And of course, Joseph Newgarden, who knows how to win around this Gateway track, has won 4 out of the last 5 inside the top 6 as well. So on board with Joseph Newgarden, 27 laps completed, probably going up and over lap 65 towards 70 for the green flag stops here if it does stay green. I think it'll be around 4 or 5 stops around the Gateway circuit, and no one's told David Malukas to hit a fuel number here because he's checking out. This is a big advantage for the AJ Foyt car at the moment. He is disappearing, and we did not have this on our bingo cards before this weekend. Don't forget, that Foyt car, well, It's affiliated with Team Penske, so it'll be pretty much the same setup. But as it disappears into the distance, the conundrum for David Malukas will be when the head of the snake catches the tail. That will be when the Penske cars will start to loom large in the mirrors. And who starts to deal with the traffic better than others? We know that some cars will be set up better to run in the clean air. Some will run well in that dirty air. Connor Daly looks like he's hit a bit of a barrier behind Scott McLaughlin now, just tucking in behind that Team Penske machine in 4th place. Connor Daly, who raced here for Juncos Hollinger last year, of course, one of the teams and cars that he ran last year as a super sub, and did marvellous things with Juncos Hollinger towards the end of the year to get that car into the leaders' circle, secure the budget they needed for 2025, and Connor Daly just loves an oval. So does David Malukas, fresh off his 2nd place at the Indianapolis 500. He looked really good at Detroit until things went wrong for him when he got into the back of Alex Palou, and now coming here to the Worldwide Technology Raceway, he is flying, but he's starting to catch Stingray Robb.
Welcome back. If you're watching our coverage on JB Motorsports and USON and synced up with the coverage team over on Fox Sports, what an awesome, magical, confusing day of motorsport action we are being witness to, and it is non-stop. It has never, ever, ever been this good before. Motor racing at its absolute finest. How on earth could we ever resist such elegance and such danger? Lap 34 of 260. David Malukas leading now. He's pulled out 2.5 seconds, as Tom Gaynor said. On board now with Will Power, a one-time winner of this race, 5-time pole sitter. He won back here in 2018. It seems already that the pole is not going to win it. So this is what we get from race control, by the way. This is our driver performance sheet, and you can tell that Will and Tom were not lying. Pole sitters here do not win. It's really hard to get the situation right where if you're a pole sitter here, you become a race winner. But David Malukas is somebody that every time we race here, he just clicks with this place. It's absolutely insane. Started 2nd last year, but finished in 21st after an accident. 2023 started 8th, finished in 3rd. 2022 started 12th, finished in 2nd place. It just comes alive at this place. He got caught up in an accident last year, which wasn't his fault, but this place calls to him, and this is going to be a listening time. It's going to be a fantastic race, as we hear from Alex Palou. Terrible understeer.
That's seemingly a common complaint amongst all of the drivers. Understeer, the tyres going off.
Yeah, thanks, Will. As now we see Will Power starting to lap the traffic. That's going to be Stingray Robb, who now gets lapped by Juncos Racing as well. Lando, a 5-second time penalty for collision with Oscar. Well, that's the equivalent of absolutely nothing, is it? Now, considering he didn't serve that time penalty, he plugged. Does that mean... Oh, hello. As, again, Stingray Robb was on board with getting lapped by Newgarden and almost causing a big collision as well, as Newgarden now gets the toe on Daly, cuts to the inside line on the inside of turn 3, and Newgarden does move up into 4th position. This time, Daly down to 5th. Plug, does that mean that Lando had to serve a penalty the next race, or has he got off free? As side-by-side battles, Newgarden in 4th position, Daly in 5th, and that's Newgarden now going around the outside line and lapping more and more cars. Yeah, Newgarden makes a fantastic move to go around the outside. There was absolutely taking no prisoners there. As to the inside line we come now. This is going to be a move for Pato O'Ward lapping the traffic. And this is what we get. You can see on your driver tracker, those in the black square are a lap down. You see our leader, that's the 4 of David Malukas in the solid green square if you're watching along with us. He's catching the back now of the 51 of Jacob Abel in the Dale Coyne Racing. As down to pit road has come Graham Rahal. So Graham Rahal pits in this race so far. To take a look at Newgarden, sweeping down low, getting the toe, getting ahead of Pato O'Ward, then getting the toe on Daly, cuts the inside line for the tyres of Risks livery. But honestly, fantastic move from Newgarden. He used the hybrid power, he guts the toe from Stingray Rob, pushes around the outside of Pato O'Ward, uses that toe from Daly, cuts the inside line at 3 and takes the position. A textbook, brilliant move from Joseph Newgarden. Simply sublime as supreme. No, sublime? That's my mind trying to process things on no sleep. But still, fantastic move as David Malukas continues to dominate this race. He's put out 5 seconds now to Will Power, who is running in 2nd place. Joseph Newgarden, for comparison, last lap time was a 1:70.997 mile an hour. So he too getting slightly quick. Remember, we don't go on time here, we go on speed. So it is speed traps, speed advantages. That's what you see on our driver trackers as well to go forward with it. On board, Newgarden and with Team Penske in his previous wins. This was August 17th, 2024 here. A spin and win at the Bob Morano Automotive Group 500. Spun it on the backstretch, got the car hooked back up, and went on to win the race. A spin and win in the 21st century. You can't hold that against Newgarden. He has got some talent here in Bob Morano. At 48 then, and now at 45. Places. Still pushing together. Malukas has an advantage. Jacob Abel now lapped down. Who hasn't been lapped so far? Abel's been lapped, but he keeps getting Stingray Rob 2. The gap and interval keeps changing on our monitor because they are lapped. It's Rasmussen down, so Foster is the last one on the lead lap as it comes into it. As they come through, Malukas leading. Second, McLaughlin in 3rd as they come over the line. Start lap 47, blue flags in the air. Powers dropped behind. Powers in the wall! Will Power has hit the wall and he's got a rear left puncher. Will Power, one-time winner and the pole sitter tonight, 5 times in history, has touched the wall and he brings out the full course caution for the 2nd time tonight. And his Power's day done. Yeah, broken suspension, he's done. Don't wake up the baby. Will Power fighting for control with opposite lock. He's never turned left so hard to keep that car in a straight line. That is such a hard way. What's happened? Coming into turn 3 and 4, gets on the high line. It's because it's dirty out there. It's going to drag him up and pull him into the wall. And that's such an easy accident. It has kissed it though, and he's run against the wall. I wonder if it's mainly just tyre. Let's take a look at the suspension gets damaged. He runs up high and hits the wall. I don't know about that one.
Very just a passenger. I wonder if he picked up some debris, maybe from the DeFrancesco
It was a rear
accident
puncture
earlier in the race.
Possible. Maybe from the pyrotechnics before the race.
But look, he's potentially not out. I mean, he's doing a good job wrestling that thing back to pit lane. You can see both front and rear. You can see the right rear completely freewheeling there, almost not attached to the car.
So at least a steering arm probably and right rear toe link at a minimum as Team Penske will put work and try to diagnose things.
Great drive though to get that back to pit lane, crabbing the whole way around this 1 1/4 mile oval. Will Power will make it back to the pit lane.
AMR safety team sort of chasing Will Power, trying to figure out if he's going to stop, where he might stop, but it looks like he's made it all the way back in.
Well done, Will Power, getting that down to pit lane.
Back-to-back crashes for Will Power at St. Louis. We saw the replays of how his race ended last year earlier on in this broadcast. Look at him, full lock left in order to go straight, heading down pit lane. Normally, you're not allowed in pit lane under a caution, unless, of course, it is for damage to your car, and that is one fairly damaged car.
It's allowed,
that thing.
It's allowed under what's called emergency service, and I would say this healthily qualifies as emergency service for the number 12. Gets it into his pit box.
Well done, Will Power.
And he's thinking points. He's thinking, hey, we might go several laps down. We will go several laps down here, but let's try to diagnose. And just like DeFrancesco went back out on the track, they will hope to get Power's car fixed. The question is, can they do it on pit lane?
Hinch, you've seen something here.
Yeah, let's take a look right here, guys.
Devlin's back on the
It's
circuit.
just tough to see, but you can see right in here that that you can see the material from the tire there. That's the cords, part of the fabric. That's the underlayer underneath the rubber. That's a very rare thing to see here in IndyCar.
Pit lane is now open, and critically it comes when? Lap 50, exactly when the
Pit
first
stop
stops
time,
were due to take place anyway.
Well,
What
that's
a
lucky.
fortuitous circumstance.
Look, everyone's coming in.
Lucas was doing a great job on the racetrack. Now his team's got to do a great job in pit lane. AJ Foyt Racing is going up against some of the best in the business in Team Penske. The 3 crew, the 2 crew are so fast on pit lane.
He's going to have to have
3.5
Porters.
second lead that he had dissolved to nothing. Kevin.
And the car had a lot of understeer early, but as expected, it's coming to Joseph Newgarden, and he is charging. He is making a 4 Firestone tires. Dominic's back out, Georgia.
They pulled the 12 car, Will Power, up against the wall. Will's got now Scott McLaughlin now reaches his box. That's Ben Gretzman in here. 4 tires and fuel for Scott McLaughlin. He's now down in the red.
How is AJ Foyt doing against Team Penske? Nice. It looked pretty good, but maybe
Contact
not
pit
good enough
road.
as McLaughlin got out and a car's on fire.
Wow, we've actually
again,
got a car on fire down pit road as well as the 21 with a fuel leak. And we've got, I think that's Nolan Siegel struggling to get back into the pit lane. It's all drama here at Gateway.
We've seen it again here today. How will the order shake out as they leave the pits? McLaughlin
Lundgaard in trouble.
Of Malukas. It was a good stop for AJ Foyt Racing, but when you're going up against Penske, anything less than perfection is never quite enough. Problems also on pit lane for
Couldn't get in his box.
Lundgaard. Will now rejoin at the back of the field. All going on here, 51 of 260. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Let's check in with our colleague Tom Gaymore back at the Sky Studio.
Yellow flag pit stops on a 1 1/4 mile oval spell. Chaos that looked busy in pit lane, and that looks a little bit tight there for the safety vehicles that are cleaning that high line from the marbles that have been pushed up there after that first healthy segment of green flag running. But Team Penske bringing the caution out, and Team Penske benefiting when the cars have entered and exited pit lane as well, because it's Scott McLaughlin in the Thirsty Threes who's got out ahead of the number 4, the AJ Foyt machine of David Malukas. So Malukas, who looked so strong in that opening 50-lap stint, now headed once again, as he was when the green flag dropped. Joseph Newgarden up there in 3rd place, Pato Award in 4th, Connor Daly in 5th, with Colton Herta rounding out the top 6. It was wild to see one of the Ed Carpenter cars on fire. Rasmussen, just some spilt fuel there, being burnt off as he left his pit box. There's the stricken 12 machine, Will Power, top placed. Penske, of course, in the championship, heading into this weekend, running so strongly, that right front delaminating, and the result, Will Power out of the race. Now, if you're following IndyCar, the city season, lots of talk about Power being replaced by David Malukas for next year. Tim Cindric said at the top of the year that the contract talks would start immediately after the Indy 500. Of course, Tim Cindric no longer at the Penske organisation, so Will Power saying those talks about his contract now ongoing directly with the captain himself, Roger Penske, but no information as of yet to signify whether or not Will Power will be at Penske next year or where he will be. All talk and rumours, as it so often is, regarding the silly season. Still under caution here at St. Louis, but we're heading back now to join the Fox team. We'll be going green very soon.
As we join Will Buxton, Townsend Bell,
Welcome back to St. Louis, where we are still under caution for an accident that befell our pole sitter, Will Power, who's standing by with Georgia.
It's certainly not the way you wanted today to end, but what exactly happened?
Yeah, right front tyre failure. Man, I felt last night when we were running, we're pretty much flat 2, 3, and 4 every lap. And I was like, man, this is a lot of load. Like when I had a failure at Iowa, I felt the same. And yeah, that actually happened. It was unfortunate for us, but yeah, just blew the front. Man, you're literally flat every lap, 2, 3, 4 here. And then, yeah, nothing I can do there. Unfortunate, feel bad for everyone on the Verizon car. We had a good car, just sitting there saving fuel, getting a big number to try and get that 4th stop. I know Malukas was taken off. Figured he'd just catch traffic and we'd be able to, you know, get to him and probably knock a stop off the race, but nothing was going to stop a tyre failure, unfortunately. That's the way it is. But go to the next one, man. See if we can get a win. Like, we're always knocking on the door, but not today.
It's on to Road America for Will Power. Thanks, Will.
Thanks to Will, thanks to Georgia. Sun starting to set here in St. Louis, the lights turning on around the track. Let's have a little look back at what happened here in pit lane. There's the car of Christian Lundgaard.
Well, you cannot reverse. That's an illegal move to reverse, as we see the 21 get some fuel, some excess fuel that hits the exhaust pipes, catches on fire, burns out pretty quickly. But I want to know why the 7 was stopped there.
Almost think like he missed his box and then got it too late. But let's take a look maybe at a different angle. Onboard will tell us.
So this is it, yeah.
Yeah, he just missed it.
He went to go in.
He just sort of got confused, I think, on where he was. But either way, we're about to go green here.
Yeah, we're about to go back to green flag running here at Gateway. That was an unusual error for Christian Lundgaard, but that's put a serious amount of pressure at the front. McLaughlin, Malukas leads, and we've got McLaren's right in the centre as well as we go back to green flag running here. Down to the inside, that's Malukas lapping the traffic. So that's the Aaron McLaren and Christian Lundgaard who's in the way. They haven't segregated the field back into unlapped and lapped traffic, so that's going to get in the way quite quickly. Joseph Newgarden trying to go down low to get through, and he's now past Lundgaard. Lundgaard's not going to hold Daly. He's going to hold Daly up, but he's not going to let O'Ward go through. All the way around. He's going to let O'Ward go through and not hold Daly up, but he's done that now. Brain's not calculating once we go through. One team cheats car down to one down, 2 to go in terms of the cheats car. Yeah. You said it, not me. Side by side, the 51. A little bit of a brush. Jacob Abel battling with Christian Lundgaard as the field still splits. Herta getting ahead, and then Kirkwood repassing. They're side by side up the straight. There's Felix Rosenquist in the 60, battling round the outside. Santino Ferrucci going wheel to wheel, not giving anything back. Ferrucci pushing for 8th position. They are touching side by side, tyre to tyre, and through has gone Santino Ferrucci. A nice move on the inside line. He really wanted to have a go for it, and now we've got the McLarens going everywhere, trying to go left, right, and centre. That is into pit lane. Christian Lundgaard served that penalty for reversing on pit road. So Lundgaard will get out of this mess of traffic. He'll serve his penalty for the error that he made, and the race is back in majority of respects underway. Going to be a simple run around. McLaughlin now the race leader. Malukas is second. Newgarden third. O'Ward fourth. Daly fifth. Kirkwood sixth. Hertz 7th. Armstrong is 8th. Ferrucci 9th. Rosenquist has your top 10. Rossi, Dixon, Eilok, Foster, Eriksson, VK, Palou, Rasmussen, Schwartzman, Simpson, Siegel, Abel, Robb, Rahal, Lundgaard. Power is out. The Derek Francesco still circulating out there, getting some data, and he will soon overtake Will Power. So Power will be last and be our official retiree from this event. Scotty Mack leads the way here at the St. Louis 500. How long though, because we got a bit close to the exit there. Exit 2, I thought McLaughlin was going to go into the wall. He's certainly trying to push everybody's spirits away, isn't he? Just little by little, more by more. It's just every little, it's just helping. It's not every little helping, it's every little bit just taking and taking and taking. Bit by bit by bit. There's just a little bit something different. As Rasmussen goes up back into 16th position now, gets ahead of Venus VK in the Dale Corin Racing. And of course, Christian Rasmussen in the Ed Carpenter Racing squad, making moves up the field. Already 195 laps to go. It's ticking down very fast here. 25 seconds is a lap time. This is Alexander Rossi back at the 500. When he had a fire on pit road, forced him to get out of the car and out of the race due to fire. It was a big one as well, actually. And several marshals, amateurs, are now our second fire on pit road this year, coming with Christian Rasmussen and the fuel being ignited from the exit. Yeah, that's the second time. I don't like to see repeats, and refueling is an important part of IndyCar. You can't really get around it, but that is dangerous because you can't go high fuel loads on ovals. You have to refuel in this series. There's almost into an airplane style accident here as we see Sed's 21 car trying to have a go through traffic. Louis Foster in the Rahal Lanigan Racing just ahead of him blocked him up the track and almost caused a huge accident. In fact, they're still going side by side as well as they come into it. This is Alex Palou battling Rasmussen over 14th and 15th position, so that our championship leader doing battle with Rasmussen. And yeah, so Palou's dropped back massively now. And he's let Foster get out ahead into the distance. Now Palou drops behind the back of the 21. And this is Newgarden on the back of Malukas for second position. That's a little bit of give and take. If Newgarden wins, it'll be his 6th career win here. And genuinely, it looks like it's one of the ones he could pull off. He has got that momentum about him, and he's going to go on Malukas here. He's exited turn 2. He's got such a run. We're going to pull to the high line at 3. Malukas just gives him an exit wound, blocks the door as they come through over the line once again. Lap 71 of 260. So 70 laps have been completed as the action continues on. Who says IndyCar isn't superb racing? This is everything we're having this evening. A short track oval race. Gateway delivers. A little bit wide. On board again with Newgarden. IndyCar suits ovals. I'm glad we're racing on a couple more this year. And it's always fun when an IndyCar has that race on an oval, because you get the feeling that you know it. You get the feeling you know the place, you know the time. You're used to NASCAR running around here, not fast, open wheelers. And it really does feel like you're on a bomb on wheels. It's fantastic. McLaughlin comfortably in the lead. Lap traffic is being caught, but not as quickly. Malukas down to 9% of hybrid power. He's already recharged that up to 23%. Newgarden has 98. So they're still close a bit together. I wonder if Newgarden will have any more of the, oops, I'm going to be on the power, yeah. Malukas, so slow, coming out of turn 2. Newgarden's got the run, keeps to the low line, goes low into 3. They're side by side. Newgarden will then take it and doesn't cut across Malukas' hero to stop him and put him into the wall. So a respectful move there from Joseph Newgarden, the champion, a 3-time champion before, and a stunning move from Christian Rasmussen, passing Palou and Eilert round the outside line into turn 3 and 4. Superb positioning. And this race is just going from strength to strength to strength as they all try and cut down the low line, sweep back up into turn 3 and 4. Palou, side by side. Just take it little by little. He can't get ahead here. Eilert then has to back out of it. Palou's going to stay with him. Meantime, Foster and Rasmussen doing battle, and Rasmussen passes Foster. Palou passes Eilert as well. Down low into turn 3, and he's downloaded the position. Palou goes back through. It's weird to see Palou struggling. Only one INDYCAR victory, but let's go down to our friend and colleague Tom Gamelore.
David Malukas have things all his own way in that first segment. Now the Team Penske cars flexing their muscles out front. It's the 33 Scott McLaughlin who is ahead of his teammate Joseph Newgarden, who knows how to win a race around here. David Malukas shuffled down to 3rd, but surely he's trying to hit that fuel number now that he wasn't hitting earlier on. And Pato O'Ward sitting in 4th place ahead of Connor Daly, who's, well, there I say it, gone quiet for the moment, but settling into this Bommarito 579 laps completed of 260, and Joseph Newgarden just getting stuck behind Graham Rahal there, it looked like. Or was that Devlin DiFrancesco, who's back out on track, 33 laps down. Either way, it was one of the Rahal Letterman Lanigan machines. 29 laps completed on this stint since the last pit stop. So the tyres will start to go off, the marbles will start to build on that high line, but as the fuel loads lessen, the cars will improve in terms of their balance. Last lap around 171 for Scott McLaughlin. Best lap of the race 174, but that would have been done on fresh tyres. So about a couple of miles an hour now the drop off as they track towards the second half of this stint. If it stays green, probably looking at around 60 laps on this fuel stint. Gap around 1 second now between Scott McLaughlin and Joseph Newgarden. Both did the same lap last time around, so did David Malukas. And where this is telling is they are around the 171, 170 mark. Pato O'Ward 166, Connor Daly 167, everybody else in the 160s. So top 3 in a race of their own at the moment in terms of the pace and balance that they have underneath them. The big loser in that pit stop sequence was Alex Palou. Of course, you had the penalties for Felix Rosenqvist and Christian Lundgaard, but that was of their own making. For Alex Palou, he was bought by Christian Lundgaard's Arrow McLaren. He currently finds himself in 14th place for the championship leader.
Welcome back. Christian Rasmussen coming into the pit lane now. Scott McLaughlin leads from Newgarden, Malukas, O'Ward, Daly in top 5. It's lap 85 of 260 of the Bommarito 500. A lot of interesting action going on here. The night is falling. The lights around the circuit have taken over from the sun, which means we are into the night racing. And that's what we love about this circuit most of all. The atmosphere at night is something else. It builds up to an electric pulse. It is fantastic. McLaughlin leading Newgarden. Malukas, 1, 2, 3. Award in 4th. Daly 5th. Kirkwood has 6th. Herta 7th as they continue to move on. We're now watching McLaughlin just coming up to that lap traffic I was talking about. Starting with Stingray Rob, who's in 21st position. One at a time. They'll deal with it and get it out of the way. That's the 21 of Rasmussen. Rasmussen has dropped down to 23rd position after that unscheduled pit stop. It was 44 seconds long, as you can read on your monitor. Could have been a drive-through, could have been fuel only. Didn't see any messages on our control system that he was being told to come into the pit lane. There was no reference on that. Rasmussen was told to keep the leaders behind him, and he did. What was Rasmussen? He just came into the pit lane a bit early. Yeah, Rasmussen was completely off kilter to come into the pits. It made no logical sense for him to do that. 9 times out of 10 we can sort of see that coming, can't we? So, yeah, there's a difference, there's an intrigue, and yeah, there's an interest as well. That could change over. If I just try and put a chair in between where the fan is, that's not going to work, so I'll move that chair over to the desk on this side of the booth. I don't know if it's sunset or sunrise, it's how much it's playing with the eyesight here. So we've been running for 48 minutes and we are not close enough yet to approach half distance, which will be like 1:30. 40 away from that, which is about 20 minutes of running. Takes us to 2:20. Yeah, this race is already going long thanks to the cautions. 2 of them that we've had so far tonight. Broadcast window closes at 3:30 our time here in the UK. That's another hour and 12 minutes to get this race in. Possible, but unlikely. Scotty Mack now moves up as Newgarden goes with him. So Scotty Mack lapping the traffic, and now he is the next car ahead to Joseph Newgarden. The 2 remaining Penske teammates are 1-2 here at St. Louis. And Newgarden, as I said, has won here 5 times before. Can he become a 6th as they swing down low into turn 3? Let's take a replay. This was McLaughlin using the 77 of Stingray Rob to lap the 21. The 21 getting the power out mid-corner. And then Scotty Mack got a little bit loose, and that allowed Newgarden to have a go on the inside line down towards turn 1. So Newgarden did have an attack charge on McLaughlin a few laps ago, but didn't choose to pursue it. He wants to use McLaughlin as basically an ambulance through traffic, sit behind him, use him and use his fuel to drag himself up through the mess and then into the lead of the race. So Newgarden knows how this track works, playing the long game. I respect that. Got McLaren on the way too, as McLaughlin's now going to get ahead of Felix Rosenquist. Rosenquist down into 23rd position. He still can't do it, actually. Scotty Mack's really in trouble. Coming out of 4, he can't just lap traffic. Blue flags in the air, but it doesn't mean lift-off go through. The leaders have to actually make the overtake here for lapping traffic. They are the ones who have to go offline, and now he pulls down low to try and get ahead. I hope Rosenquist doesn't make it hard. You're not allowed to make it hard. If they go for the move, they have to go through. So there are still rules in combat, so to speak, as to how things can progress. So, just a confirmation, by the way, if you were watching our Formula 1 coverage, Red Bull did launch a protest, but no penalty has come to George Russell for dangerous driving or braking under the safety car. So he is the victor of the Canadian Grand Prix. And a bit of a flag in the background. Newgarden now stuck behind his teammate. He'll also get told, don't do anything stupid. Don't take him off. Don't do anything. Don't put yourself in danger. As Red Sky Ignite is Shepherd's Delight, and that might be a bit much as McLaughlin goes wheel to wheel with Nolan Siegel. Siegel made it very difficult for McLaughlin to get through there. And now he's going to make it equally as difficult as Newgarden will come through down low. No, he doesn't. So what on earth is Nolan Siegel doing? Yes, he is actually making it a bit difficult. He's going side by side and touching with Siegel, being a bit of an idiot there. It's a blue flag. You do not take out the leaders. That is how it leads you to a race ban. Marcus Ericsson is down low and is coming into the pit lane for new tyres. Let's have a look. So McLaughlin goes for it. And he just blocks him, guys.
You call it sloppy, I call that naughty. Yeah, I call that a penalty. Yeah. I was in race control, I'd look at that and say it was absolutely in reaction to his Newgarden has a look on McLaughlin. McLaughlin now stacked up in traffic. And Newgarden might have a shot the next lap. And
McLaughlin can't go anywhere.
Ahead of the Penske race leader. Simpson in the middle.
Yeah, McLaughlin can't go anywhere. Newgarden's boxing, so is Maluka, so is Denny. They're all deciding that this is the moment to come into the pit lane. Let's head down.
And into clean air. That's a smart move from Joseph Newgarden.
Very smart.
The number 2 crew.
This is the undercut. So what Newgarden's banking on is that McLaughlin's going to be caught up in this lap traffic, Kevin.
Go around Connor Daly's tires for that team set up. He's coming in as well. This looks like a solid stop for Newgarden, Georgia.
So Newgarden will hope to find clean air. Sorry, Georgia.
David Malukas now to the attention of his team. They were telling him about track temperatures and using his tools before that previously. Did not take any wing out of that car, and he's hitting the track.
Great stops from the AJ Foyt crew. Both of them so far today. Jack, you're down there with your award.
Yeah, I'm literally just watching this stuff. I managed to talk to the team. They said as this track temperature is changing, Pato actually got a little bit loose and he was getting a little bit more nervous. They took some front wing out. He's racing his teammate down pit lane.
Race leader into pit lane. Scott McLaughlin needs a fast stop because his teammate was the first to bite the bullet and come in on lap 101. Georgia.
And it's words like fantastic, nice job, great job from Ben Bretzman to Scott McLaughlin. And now it's the team's turn to shine. This pit stop is going to be ever so important for your race leader. He is in. They're going to do 4 tires and fuel for Scott McLaughlin. They were giving him notes on where Joseph Newgarden was before this, but this pit stop ever so impressive from the team. He's out of the way.
Newgarden is coming through 3 into 4. Down the start-finish stretch, we will watch where McLaughlin leaves the pit lane and where he comes out. In relation to his teammate.
Here he comes. It's an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit, but
Newgarden, he's well ahead.
Well ahead.
Working to great effect.
But Newgarden swings through.
Around at number 3 as well, so that's 2 positions lost effectively on that exchange for Scott McLaughlin.
The only benefit for McLaughlin is going a little bit longer, which shortens the fuel window a little bit for him. But Newgarden finding the clean track and using the speed from that clean track to make that strategy work.
Smart move from Joseph Newgarden from the number 2 team. Gets him out on track, gets the heat into the tires, gets the pace. As Nolan Siegel in your bottom screen there has a drive-through penalty for blocking. I think we saw that one coming. That was a bit naughty from Nolan Siegel as Joseph Newgarden continues to put the moves on track. Newgarden then ahead of Malukas, ahead of McLaughlin. But it's Alexander Rossi who leads the race at the moment for Ed Carpenter Racing from Rinus VK and Scott Dixon. There's a replay of McLaughlin coming out. Newgarden already miles ahead of him. And here comes Malukas on the hot tires. Straight through.
What that's told all these teams, guys, is that doing that undercut, that pitting earlier strategy, that buys you track position. But you can't do it every stint, Townsend, or eventually your last stint is going to be so long, you'll have to save so much fuel, but still a lot learned for all these teams on that exchange.
We'll be back here.
A lot of action, a lot of intrigue. Let's check in with Tom Gaymore.
As soon as we saw Joseph Newgarden ducking down into the pit lane, we knew that that was potentially a lead change because the undercut is so strong here. A good couple of miles an hour difference between the tyres they're on and the fresh Firestone rubber they've got now. And Joseph Newgarden back out front at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. How often do we say that? This is a driver that has won 4 out of the last 5. He takes some beating around here. Don't forget Scott McLaughlin on the pole last couple of years before Will Power, of course, got the pole yesterday. Power already out of this race, but Scott McLaughlin losing the lead to Joseph Newgarden now, and of course that second place to David Malukas in that AJ Foyt machine with the Penske Technical Alliance. And on board with Joseph Newgarden, the sunset coming out of turn 4 just looks so resplendent here under the lights. This is what we've come to see, and the fans have flocked here as well. Will Buxton just talking about how many people are in the grandstands with T-Bell before we went to the break. It's great to see INDYCAR right up there as the spectacle that it is. 110 laps of the 260. So approaching the halfway mark here, we've had 2 cautions. One for Devlin DiFrancesco and the Rahal Letterman Lanigan machine, and of course another one for Will Power, who had that tyre failure. Now look at how many stops before the end. Is this going to be a 4 or a 5 stopper? Start to crunch the numbers on board with Scott Dixon, who actually won it a couple of years ago with a remarkable fuel save. Did it almost 2 stops less than everyone else. Scott Dixon masterclass. How often have we said that over the years? And at the moment, Scott Dixon just running around, trying to chase down cars ahead of him. It's Rinus VK. Dixon, best lap last time around, I think. Finds himself in 15th place as Joseph Newgarden continues to lead the field here. He's 2.5 seconds clear of David Malukas.
Back with us as we get all set then. Lap 113 of 260. We're inching closer to half distance here of the Bob Morata Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway here at St. Louis. Newgarden leads, Malukas second, McLaughlin third, Award fourth, Rasmussen in fifth. We're sort of halfway through some pit stages. Not all of them have dived into the pit lane just yet. Biggest winner so far, Christian Rasmussen, up 20 places where he started. Santino Ferrucci is up 10. But Newgarden, a 5-time winner here, is leading the race from from David Malukas and AJ Foyt, and then his teammate in 3rd place. A lot of good stuff going on here. As it stands, the top 13 are still on the lead lap. Everybody below them, so VK down is lapped, and Alex Palou is on that bubble in 13th position. So he's the last one not to be lapped. What is going on for the man who's been so dominant in 2025, winning 5 of the opening 7 races. Round 8 looks to be a new winner because no sign either. The other winner, that of Kyle Kirkwood. He currently consists of running down the order Where is Kyle Kirkwood? I had him a second ago in my eye line. In 7th position. It's going to be symbolic. Pallot's about to be lapped. Newgarden's got him in his eye line. Oh, Pallot, big twitch into turn 1. Newgarden had to lift off as well in order not to make contact. Pallot's not going to make this easy on Newgarden. He knows Newgarden's a championship rival. Gives him a little bit of an opening. He's not going to resist too much. And Alex Pallot, the man has been so dominant. The Indy 500 champion from 2025. The man has won 5 of the opening 8 races, wheel to wheel with Joseph Newgarden as he's trying to desperately get through. He laps Graham Rahal, who's down in 25th position. And Pallot does not want to be lapped. He's left Newgarden to deal with Rahal's problem, and as he takes off to try and desperately keep on the lead lap and close back up to VK and Foster. But he's going to go to Foster and Rossi, who's 2 places ahead of him. Oh, this race is becoming rather interesting, isn't it? Week in, week out, it's another purpose effect. As we go green again, this is the 3 wide moment into the first corner. That's the 45 trying to find a way through with Louis Foster. And he's had Marcus Armstrong in there too. So a 3 wide moment coming over the start line. Rahal in the mix of things as well, and that's how they get lapped as well. Just everybody twitching. There's Foster twitching through 1 and 2. Very little grip around. Limited practice, wet weather. It's plagued us all weekend long here. The track not fully up into grip temperature. And there's a threat of rain in the air. It shouldn't affect us for the race, which is good news, but it is in the air and it is around the area as a heads up that it could affect later on. And of course, if it does rain, we won't be able to restart. NASCAR would have lost the track because with no sun and the dew point coming in for the coolness of the conditions of the night, it wouldn't be able to restart because it would be very, very difficult in order to get the track back to being in a dry and good condition. Mental this race, isn't it? Mental this challenge. As the whole racing world continues on. Nearly into the wall there when Scott Dixon, he got caught up in this melee mess as well. Definitely someone who doesn't want to be involved in it. Lap 124, closing on half distance. Now McLaughlin's got ahead of O'Ward. How? McLaughlin P3, O'Ward was now down to P4. While watching, there was no sign of them being close together. No sign they switched around on the timing towers either. So this is just O'Ward closing down on Scotty Mack through 1 and 2. McLaughlin's got a car ahead of him causing some problems. It's not Malukas, it's a lap traffic. Could be Santino Ferrucci, he's on the lead lap. It's not Rahal, is it? I think it could be, you know. Now look, we see where that 15 is on the timing tower. And he's always around that area. Oh well. It was Graham Rahal. Yeah, I thought it might be. The timing tower don't lie on the driver tracker. So O'Ward catching up to McLaughlin, desperately trying to get a position on 15th. He's opening up said running orders. He's not going to take no for an answer, is he? Oh, McLaughlin got very wide out of turn 2. Oh, big snap! And a save from Pato O'Ward. Reactions of a jet fighter pilot. Wow!
But that was a monster save from Pato O'Ward. That is just another day in the life of Pato O'Ward on an oval. Nobody able to hang it out more than this guy and be able to save it. Most importantly, let's take a look from outside the cockpit. That was huge slip angle.
The highlight reel we could put together of Pato O'Ward saves on an oval. I mean, look at the tire marks he's leaving coming off a 2 there.
That's impressive.
If he had $1 for every time he had a big save on an oval, he could buy a bigger jet. I mean, this guy is so good at running the car loose, which is sometimes what you have to do to get the lap time, especially to navigate traffic. And it's not slowing him down at all. It hasn't spooked Pato.
Does anything spook Pato?
So still Newgarden who leads to the tune of 6 seconds from David Malukas. Scott McLaughlin is third. Pato O'Ward is fourth. Rasmussen, who's slightly off strategy, sits fifth. That is 20 places up from where he started. Then
still coming into position right now. Newgarden trying to go for it. Lifts off. He knows his car's ahead. That you don't want to have any drama to. Is that a car on the wall? It is! Car on the wall! Right in front of Newgarden! And Newgarden's out! Oh my goodness me! Huge accident! Joseph Newgarden is launched up in the air across the start-finish line in a huge, huge accident. AMR safety crew straight over the wall, checking he's okay. We were riding with him as that happened. There was a car in the wall. It came back down low. Newgarden was collected, launched up and over the aero screen, and the rollover hoop doing the job to protect Joseph. A huge accident. That is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. And it's the 45 that was involved. We will go red flag. We'll have to. There's Louis Foster. MRC safety team checking with him as well. Upside down. Well, Joseph Newgarden, 5 times a win will not become a 6th. Absolutely nowhere to go. The AMR safety crew now very carefully lift the car onto its side. Make sure he's okay. And then gently bring the car down in order to make sure that Joseph is okay and bring him down to a comfortable rest. Well done, guys. Well done. The AMR safety team is amazing, and Joseph Newgarden is, I am relieved to tell you, okay. We are on board with him now. He's conscious, and he's moving, and he's getting out of the car. And so is Louis Foster, with assistance to the AMR safety team. The rookie getting out of the car. Just a little bit of a daze. That is a big one. Joseph Newgarden so pumped, he's jumping out of the car. He was flying a moment ago. A round of applause and cheers from the crowd to see that he is okay. And Louis Foster too. Carefully gets out of the car. Let's take it now. We know they're okay. So Foster gets into the wall, exit of 4. I saw him drifting across the top. He looks it with the rear tyre being loose. Newgarden's blind. He was in a lap car, nowhere to go, and it was a closing effect and smashed together against the pit wall. Newgarden goes upside down, skates across the start line in a horrific, horrific accident. And Joseph, that is one of the scariest. That's one of the scariest accidents I think I've seen in a long time. That was alarming how fast that went over. So Foster's got a broken rear right suspension. It jerks him back around. He shoots down low. Newgarden's blind as he was getting out of the way. And he tried to go low, but it's an ever-closing gap. That, unfortunately, that's 2 Penske's out of the race. Power out, and now Newgarden out. The only Penske left is Scotty Mack, and Malukas now inherits the lead of the race as well. Pace car still taking him out. Surely we're going to have to go red here. This is on board with Newgarden. Oh. Do you know, I never like being on board with a driver, but I didn't like that even more because I saw him in the wall. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and non-binary, must be inclusive during Pride Month as well. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Well, everyone, We've just experienced a crash live on board. That was terrifying. Oh, it's just nowhere to go, and he tried turning into the pit wall as well. He could have ended up back in the pit lane. That was the terrifying thing. I've never seen a situation like that before. And he's making sure that I'm okay, but I'm upside down. I'm okay. No sign of stoppage yet. Safety car is still peeling through. There's a lot of oil that needs to be washed up on the pit lane as well. This might be a red flag situation with the cleanup needed. Let's go down to Tom and the team.
It's going to be a big clear-up. I'm surprised that we haven't seen the cars going through pit lane.
Or even a red flag.
Cars now weaving their way through all of that debris on start and finish straight. Everyone having a good look at the safer barrier on the inside there and around this Worldwide Technology Raceway, doing its job in terms of absorbing the impact. Safer barrier, another technological advance in terms of safety that has done so much to reduce the G-force and the impact of those hitting it. You can just see on the inside there the rivets in between the wall, and that soaks up all of the energy. There's a big clear up here on the start and finish straight at St. Louis. Our race leader, Joseph Newgarden, caught up in an accident as Louis Foster lost the rear end of his Rahal Letterman Lanigan machine coming out of turn 4. And our race leader, Joseph Newgarden, that Team Penske car just had nowhere to go. And that is how quickly it can all go wrong on these short ovals.
I don't like how they're bringing this in the field.
That Louis Foster was complaining on the radio that it was Santino Ferrucci that he was racing, and that was the reason that he got up high onto the marbles, that he lost the car, that he spun to the inside. And then as Joseph Newgarden came around, just had nowhere to go as that gap on the inside just continued to close. All happens very quickly at 180 miles an hour. The AMR safety crew now continuing to clear up on the start and finish straight. That's the Team Penske machine of Joseph Newgarden's stricken Dallara.
Oil down too.
It is being moved away.
As they're back to Fox.
Corvette leads the field through the gap of this incident on the start and finish straight.
As they're back to Fox. Under the red flag. We're under a caution at the moment.
The road to 2026 continues with the Gold Cup this Thursday as the Stars and Stripes face off against Middle East powerhouse Saudi Arabia. No easy path, no second chances. Thursday at 9 Eastern on FS1. And we are still under caution here in St. Louis for a massive accident that has befallen the race leader and the man in 10th place at the time, Louis Foster, who went up and into the wall, lost control, spun back across the track. Nowhere to go for Joseph Newgarden. Both fortunate to be okay, but they're out of the cars and on their way to the medical center. We sit on board with Joseph Newgarden. The guys, the worrying thing for me, we counted it in the break, 6 seconds between Foster going up into the wall and the point of contact between those two cars, and it was only at the very last moment, almost as they were about to make contact, that the track went yellow.
Yeah, nothing that Joseph Newgarden could do here. He would not have a chance to do anything except pull his hands off the wheel and try to brace himself for what would be a huge impact. It's so happy that both drivers were able to climb out of their cars. And again, I have to point out that Louis Foster had an accident that wasn't his fault at all 2 weeks ago at Detroit, another massive impact. So two huge hits for a rookie driver.
I mean, he said that the biggest crash.
I agree with Warren here. I don't know why. As soon as Foster was in the wall, that should have been a caution. It should have been a caution. 6 seconds is an eternity, especially at a track where it's only 25 seconds long for a lap. 6 seconds is an eternity.
You're going to hit hard.
That the remnants of the number 2 Penske coming back to pit lane, and after an accident of that ferocity, once again, I'm shocked with how much of that car is intact.
Huge credit to Dallara, huge credit to INDYCAR, huge credit to the AMR safety team for all the work that's gone into these race cars, to these race tracks, to allow drivers to walk away, you know, uninjured from accidents of that magnitude. And, you know, we saw that long shot of pit lane. It's going to be another yellow flag shootout on pit road. We saw a lot of drama down there in that last one. It was bad for Rasmussen, it was bad for Lundgaard rather, and it was bad for Alex Palou.
And you look at the season that Joseph Newgarden's had, worst season of his career in terms of bad luck. Long Beach seatbelt came loose. Indy 500 was going from last on the row to 5th place, on his way to the front, had the fuel pump issue. Then this totally unexpected crash tonight. And for Team Penske, guys, this was going to be their turnaround night. This was going to be their chance to set things straight. And now 2 of their 3 top running drivers out of this thing. When you think about Will Power's issues early on.
And we are only just past halfway of this 260 lap contest, now firmly under the lights in St. Louis. Thank you for joining us wherever you are joining us from here on Fox. Track almost clear.
Wow,
an incredible job once again, as the barriers now need to be repaired, of course, down there on pit lane.
So we talk about these safety improvements to not just the cars but the racetracks. That's the safer barrier on the inside of the racetrack as well. It's the inside wall. So those are giant foam absorbing blocks that the track has replacements of. So after an impact, you check the steel structure that's on this side, the track side of the wall, and then, like I said, those absorbing blocks go in the middle. After an impact, they replace them.
And then concrete, immovable concrete on the inside. And this crew very well practiced at making quick repairs to that safer barrier. And INDYCAR will be forced to wait until all of this work is done before opening pit lane. And not really bad news for the front runners, because they'll want to extend this as long as possible, this caution, to get into the window for pit stops. They really want to be to about lap 150 to make this work.
And they couldn't drive the cars down pit lane to avoid the front straight because there was a bunch of debris in pit lane as well. Oh. Yeah, it shows you the proximity of that accident.
And this is actually a really fortuitous break here for Christian Rasmussen because of that short fill situation. The longer this yellow extends, if Rasmussen has enough gas to make it, and I think he will, he'll be pitting with the leaders and be right back on strategy.
Bang on. And here's the wild thing. We've lost 2 Penskes from this race, and yet we still have a top 5 comprised entirely of Chevrolet runners. Malukas, Rasmussen, McLaughlin, O'Ward, and Connor Daly.
And if you're Connor Daly or David Malukas looking for your very first IndyCar win, all of a sudden the odds have gone way up with Newgarden Power out of this thing.
Well, our 1-2, neither of them have ever won an IndyCar race. Daly, of course, looking to win his first as well. 3 of those top 5. It would be a red letter day.
Just want to know, I didn't like how the AMR safety truck there was reversing up the track at high speed while the cars were passing. That's the second time tonight after we had them give a short lane. Pit lane is open.
For Christian Rasmussen, absolutely now back on strategy with everyone. And Ed Carpenter Racing will go to work battling AJ Foyt and Team Penske and Arrow McLaren for those top 4 spots. Here they come.
And not everybody choosing to come in and pit. The Ganassis staying out. That of Scott Dixon probably come around next time.
But the cars staying out are usually out there to get a lap back on the wave around. So those are lap down cars as all the leaders now head to pit lane. We'll start with Jack.
The number 5 of Pato O'Ward, they made a front wing adjustment on that previous stop. He reported the car was in a much better window. Track temp still coming down, and they think that that is going to suit them. Georgina.
The first thing Scott McLaughlin wanted to know was if his teammate Joseph Newgarden was okay. He's asked for tires and a tear-up on this pit stop, and on the previous one he had problems getting it into gear. This one, better. Now David Malukas, they're going to make tire pressure adjustments and take half a turn of wing out.
Thank you, guys. Malukas then actually leads the pack through with McLaughlin. O'Ward, Rasmussen has fallen back a couple of places, and Daly. That is the 5 who were leading. They still lead, but in a slightly shaken up order. There is Joseph Newgarden.
Walking back.
Walks away after that monstrous accident. And he is okay, but he doesn't want to talk to anybody at the moment other than just his team. And I think that's probably pretty understandable after an impact of that size.
It was huge.
So much cleaner run through pit lane this time for the group.
Let's take a look at what happened during that pit stop exchange.
Wow.
As Scott McLaughlin launches right up into the path of Pato O'Ward and then goes low on David Malukas, but Malukas I think will be the first to the line.
But I think Malukas might be under investigation for an unsafe release. He went from his pit box straight into the lane on the far right. That's not something you're allowed to do, and McLaughlin had to take avoiding action. I wouldn't be surprised if they're being looked at.
But McLaughlin also shot straight to the high line in front of Pato O'Ward.
On board with McLaughlin. He avoids Pato.
A little less egregious, but man, look how close McLaughlin had to get to the crew of Colton Herta.
Not a lot of room for anybody. This is a lot like Indianapolis.
Yeah, that's a bizarre situation. I wouldn't want to be having to make that call right now.
We saw Joseph Newgarden walking away. We saw Louis Foster, thankfully, out of his car as well. He's standing by with Kevin Lee.
And Louis Foster has told me he's okay. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, we were running the Highline all race. The 45 Desnuda Honda was really, really quick. Yeah, I think 1 minute, 2 laps, too long trying the Highline. I got up behind Malukas, or no, it was Ferrucci. Got a bit of a wiggle, had a wiggles all race there. But yeah, just got a bit too high onto the dark stuff. I think you can see it there. I have a wiggle right here. And then I just got into the marbles and was a complete passenger. So at that point, I bent my toe link. I just couldn't stop the car from spinning there, and obviously pretty scary impact for both myself and Joseph. Glad he's okay. But yeah, really, really annoying because we were fast, man. We were really fast. Just shame I had to end that way. Marbles caught me out, but anyway.
Louis Foster was running right around the top 10. Unfortunately, night done early.
Well, joining us now is Jake Sanson, who was woken up over there in beautiful Thailand. And how was your sleep, my friend? Hello, mate.
Longer than it was planned to be. I do apologise in advance.
Don't worry about it. I've been fine.
I'm here, and I seem to have joined in the middle of a rather nasty caution period for Joseph Newgarden. That was pretty nasty.
We were live on board when it happened.
Oh my goodness. Is everything okay?
Everything's okay. Joseph's not going to talk to any media. He's gone to media. Been released to the medical centre, but he's not going to talk.
Okay.
But yeah, it was out of 4, as you saw. Foster got into the wall and then broke the rear toe link, and it just sort of jerked back down. And they were about to throw the yellow flag when the car spurted down towards the barrier, and Newgarden tried to avoid it. Ended up turning almost into the pit wall, thinking he could go through it. Bang, upside down, and it very nearly went into the pit lane. I'm surprised we haven't had a red flag, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty borderline, isn't it? And this is not one of those circuits that's very kind for moments like that. We got very lucky by the look of the aftermath of the accident. What does this do then in terms of the order? Well, Malukas looking good for what is potentially a first oval win. looking at... I mean, who else is in the connection there? I mean, you've got the likes of O'Ward and Kirkwood still there or thereabouts. Hang on, we've got a slowing car. What's happening there to the 21? That is Rasmussen, and he was P4. Was that him moving aside to let people go in the row, or has he got a mechanical problem?
If he's been told to go down a couple of positions and drop to the end of the longest line, I'm not too sure. We'll have a look and get Bob Potkras's information up. But he was.
So he's going to drop behind Schwartzman then, right?
Yeah, he was on the lead lap. So that's down into 18th position. No releasing lapped cars, not an IndyCar. No free passes like in NASCAR. Formula One, I was going to say, releasing it. And yeah, they're reorganising the field. So when that moment of caution happened, cars are in several missed positions. So they're reorganising the field right now. Yeah, by the way, I haven't slept yet.
I was just going to say, you must be in absolute agony at this point.
It's harder now than it was during Canada. And I don't know why. The first...
No, I know exactly why.
Why, go on.
I know exactly why.
The voice is getting a little bit... I'm starting to sound like, you know, Chandler Bing's father.
Oh, I've been there, mate. Oh, this was quite nasty on the exit. Oh, how close does that get? Even before the two cars get close to each other, the mechanics on the Andretti, literally millimetres away from that wheel. God, they take their lives in their hands when they become pit stop mechanics at this rate. Right, so we've now got O'Ward leading because we've got Malukas down to P4 after a penalty, McLaughlin down to P5 after a penalty.
So that is because McLaughlin also, both of them went up into the second lane. Now there's the work lane, fast lane 1, fast lane 2. You're not allowed to go from the work lane straight to fast lane 2 there, and that's what they've done. You've got to sort of rejoin into fast lane 1 and then make your decision. So you're not allowed to cut straight across. That's why we've got a difference coming through. So O'Ward leads Daly and Kirkwood. Now remember, Kirkwood is one of only 2 winners this year, alongside Palou has won 5 times. O'Ward, well, he'd love to win back here at Bob Morado. Green flag is back out, and we're racing once more, and that is not the wisest idea to go straight for the oil zone down into turn 1. I'm surprised we're not going to go straight back to yellow. They've all just about made it through as Colton Herta is rubbing wheels. My goodness me, he has got absolutely no fear, and neither has Santino Ferrucci, and neither has Daly.
Daly's going for O'Ward. O'Ward trying to cover this inside line down at the low side, and as they cut back across to the pit wall, it's going to be an interesting one for Daly, who might just be able to get a run around the outside here. Pato O'Ward is covering his bases, but this is going to be Connor Daly right on the far side. This could be a fascinating link-up as Pato O'Ward again hugs that inside line on the oil line, but Daly is going to go right by him. This will be fantastic if he can hold it in the middle of the road here. Pato O'Ward's got to commit to that inside line. It's going to be slightly greasy for him, but he comes back across the line, still leading. Pato O'Ward really has got his back against the ropes. Meanwhile, Malukas has got himself into 3rd position now in front of Kirkwood and McLaughlin, so he's already made a bit of the gain that he lost out due to the 2-lane penalty. Herta P6 from Ferrucci, Armstrong below, and VK. Look at Daly, here he comes again, side draft initiated.
This is fantastic racing. You don't see this that often here at Gateway. They are literally darting everywhere across the circuit. They're using the full width as Pato desperately trying to keep Daly behind because they're on the same fuel strategy. If Daly gets ahead, he has the advantage just to jump away. And O'Ward, I've never seen him race like this. It's incredibly defensive. He's going up and down the field, and Daly's trying every trick in his book that he's had from over 15 years of experience in the IndyCar series to get through. He knows he's the old duckling, and he's going to teach the new one exactly how it works. Round the outside with better power, and he's through. Brilliant move.
Determination and perseverance will out. Magnificent from Connor Daly as he absolutely stalks Pato O'Ward, forcing him to back down from the charge. So now this is a good opportunity for Pato O'Ward. He can run in the draft, but Connor Daly clearly out to prove a point here. Fantastic to see him at the lead of the St. Louis 500. O'Ward 2nd, Malukas 3rd, Kirkwood and McLaughlin are back 2 seconds now already, so it gives you an idea of just how much there is to gain in the catch-up. Rasmussen all the way down to 16th now with Rob and Schwartzman. They've dropped a long way back after it all. But yeah, fascinating to see how Connor Daly was just not prepared to give best there to Pato O'Ward, and he forced the issue. Right, this is on board with Santino Ferrucci.
Trying to find a position as I share my wonderful timing screen so that you can have some information that you might not have as I try and come into it. But still, on board, there's Ferrucci then closing in. Now, he had some more hybrid power, and this was that moment with Ferrucci drifting up and hurting him from that. How was that not a crash? How? That is insane. I'm going to look forward to this bit. Here we go, on board with Herta.
That's millimetres, isn't it? Look at that. That's actually some proper real wheel rub on the side pods. And then they've got a car in front of them, which makes it even more of a pinch.
That was
who was that in front? Was that Palou?
Scotty Mack, I think.
That was Scotty Mack, yeah, that was the Penske, my apologies.
The only one left, the only one left. And I tell you what, some of the chat room liking that fact because they do call them cheaters at the moment.
Well, they've had a very rough ride of it, haven't they, Penske? I mean, they've obviously caught themselves running ragged at IMSA, they've caught themselves running ragged at Le Mans, they've caught themselves running ragged at NASCAR, and then, of course, the Indianapolis 500 debacle. You kind of feel that the whole team needs to have a reorganise at December and figure out, you know, who's green and who's not.
The NASCAR squad was a bit under fire today as well in the mixed wet weather conditions we had at Mexico City. A good dry ending with a predictable winner, to be fair. There is Connor Daly now leading this race. If Juncos win this race, sorry, I thought it was a radio, it's John Gamer. If Juncos win this race, by the way, with Connor Daly, it will be the first time that Daly's taken a victory at a circuit in about 9 years. That's insane.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It's got to be back about sort of 2016, 2017 time that he last took a victory. When was the Juncos racing team's last victory? It's got to be about as long, surely.
That's what I'm just trying to find out on the date, on the past performances that we get here. Because of course it's going to be tricky because it used to be Juncos Hollinger Racing. Now they've changed ownership, but they've gone through confusing. They've never won. They've never won. Oh, no,
wow,
yeah, they've
okay.
never won. Wow, I was certain they had.
Well, this would be a lovely little fairy tale if they could put it off, but again, you're going to have a lot of kickback soon from Malukas. Malukas is definitely going to be resurgent in the second half of this now to try and bring him back. Don't forget he was leading before the penalty, so there's going to be a real determination to get back on the toe. Right, here is a lovely little battle kicking on.
This is side by
Back
side.
straight. Oh, this is going to be a great switch around the far side, isn't it? That's beautifully taken on the high side to switch positions.
So that's Rosenquist down in 19th, trying to be lapped by Rasmussen. But of course, it's different rules on an oval here compared to what we have on normal road courses. You don't have to get out of the way for blue flags. They're a suggestion, but you know, you don't have to get out of the way because they have to pass you. You can't lift off on an oval. It's dangerous to you and it's dangerous to others around you. So it is a bit of a no thing. My goodness me, the last time, 2013 in the MRF Challenge Formula 2000 series. That's the last time that Daly has won a race. I'm trying to see, because he also did win that one race in GP3 with ART. I'm trying to see what the dates were between the two, as to see if which win came last.
That's astonishing. A wait for a victory for Connor Daly, and that's going to be a massive redemption arc, isn't it, for a driver who's had so many near misses, has brought so much to IndyCar, but yet he's basically been the Chris Amon of the sport, hasn't he? He's had so many great opportunities to go for the victory, and yet it's never come to fruition for whatever reason. Right. And it's looking stronger for Connor Daly because Malukas is now 3.6 back. They've gained a second in the last 5 rotations.
Okay, mate, do you want to know something weird? Do you remember the other day when I said to you, wasn't it you who called that Valencia race in 2013 when GP3 did the standalone? Do you know the last time that Connor Daly won a race? It was that one.
That
Valencia
was it. It was that race.
Yeah. Okay, that's
wow, 12 years ago. That's astonishing.
That's a bit weird how full circle that has sort of come.
I mean, I've always rated Conor Daly as a fantastic advocate for the small teams. He always manages to find a way to inspire people to sort of raise their game. And this would be such a fantastic coup for Juncos and for Conor Daly to grab a victory. I mean, Conor Daly's, as you say, last win was 12 years ago in any form of motorsport. That would be such a fantastic monkey off the back for Conor if he could actually pull this off. But Pato's going to come good in this second part of this stint. Malukas is 3.6 away. Yes, he's dropping back, but all it takes is a little bit of traffic, which they're going to get probably in about 16, 17 laps, I would think. So it's going to be a fascinating turnaround when it all starts to come back again.
It's deja vu to Milwaukee last year, when Daly was leading for so long and Ward was chasing him down in, I think, it was race 2, I believe. And it's just happening again. Daly was so close to winning, but then late cautions put him down the order, and he decided to stay out, got eaten up on the tyres, ended up finishing in 3rd position, got a podium, but it wasn't what everybody wanted, and now O'Ward's challenging him down again. Now, remember, we do not have push to pass on ovals. We do, however, have this hybrid power, and the way hybrid works on an oval is it's different to on a road course. On a road course, it's recharged like Kerr's was. Under braking, the energy is regenerated. Here, it's every time you lift off the throttle, it automatically regens the energy. So just lifting off through the corners, you immediately shoot back up. And it takes about 2 seconds to recharge to 80%. So you're looking at 3 seconds and you can bang straight on again for a charge. And that's why we're seeing so many great lifts and passes and drafts throughout the field, as we look at the only other man to win a race this year at Long Beach and Detroit of Kyle Kirkwood.
Chasing down Malukas, who again is just losing time, hand over fist to O'Ward. Gap's almost up to 4 seconds at this point. Malukas, I think that's really hampered him. That penalty has really hampered his composure and his focus. He seems to have had some scruffy laps there to go that far back. He's not got a slow car. We know that from his previous stint. So he just needs to dial himself back in again. He could really do with the traffic assisting him here to close up on the 2 leaders. But the problem is he's now stuck in a tailwind. He's got Kirkwood, McLaughlin, Herta and Ferrucci all relatively close. So he's got a really difficult problem coming. He's going to be the hunter rather than being the hunted. Sorry, the other way round. Sorry, he's going to be the hunted rather than the hunter.
Didn't finish here last year due to an accident. Got caught up in, very similar to what happened to Newgarden, but in the 2 races he has finished here, he's been 2nd and 3rd. He goes incredibly well at this circuit. It's like I don't know how to describe it. What's the opposite of kryptonite? I don't know, but it's that. It just gives him the boost. He goes well at this circuit.
Right, Formula One news after Canada, Josh.
Oh, go for it.
None of the investigations into safety car infringements were valid. They've actually been declared as warnings. So they're sort of warnings stroke reprimands. The protest against George Russell by Red Bull has been rejected. So there is no change to the results.
I got that message when I was fighting consciousness. To be honest with you, I know I haven't slept, but I did blink, and the next thing I knew it was the end of a movie. So I don't know if but you know that thing where you don't sleep, you just blink. But anyway, I had that, and I saw the protest. I was like, why are you protesting 2 different things for that? It made no sense. But I'm glad they've thrown it out. But the one I can't understand is Lando Norris's penalty.
Yeah, I kind of don't really see where they're going with. The man's already accepted his fate. Yeah. He's already accepted responsibility. He retired from the race. I mean, that's a bit like kicking a man in the ribs when he's already on the floor with a cracked skull. You know, why would you do something like that? You're not making a point. You're not making an example of anybody. The guy has already put his hand up and say, look, it's my bad. I'm accepting responsibility for it. The team are on my side and they're supporting me. I don't need the governing body.
Robin. So that was, I couldn't control that one. I've tried to turn it off, but it's coming through on both channels.
That's cool.
With the radio.
Yeah, he's just basically saying, you know, I don't need the governing body to throw in the towel for me as well. I've already done it, thanks. And that's one of the things I have an issue with, is that there are sometimes in this sport penalty for penalty's sake. If you just use a little bit of common sense, you know, people can create their own penalties. He was out of the race. He's 12 points further back in the championship fight. That is punishment enough. He'll learn from that. He'll take the plaudits from that. He'll build internally with the team from that. You do not need the governing body to come around and say, oh, well, that's a penalty. Look, it isn't. He's already out of the race. That's the penalty.
And it caused a massive disruption as well. It's not hasn't affected the Constructors' Championship, but it's now put him on the back foot, because Oscar now, for the first time this year, despite winning 5 races, can now go, I can run now. He's suddenly remembered he's got legs. So he's going to go into Austria. Like, I can just hold back everything.
Right, here we go. Pato has been spending the last 4 laps hustling Connor Daly and waiting until they're in the traffic. This is what Pato's good at. He's really intuitive at setting up the killer move through the traffic on an oval. This is one of my favourite things about Pato Award's driving style. He's like a pouncing tiger. He just waits. He picks his moment really, really carefully. And he doesn't overexert himself until the moment is right. Here he goes. Look, he's making decent enough gains here on Connor Daly. He's got speed and he's got discipline in reserve here, but he's got to pick his moment. It won't be on the first back marker. I think it'll be on the second when he really starts to pounce, unless an opportunity presents itself slightly earlier than that. But this is Pato Award moving in for the kill, and he's got an opportunity here to snatch this. This is a really fascinating build-up.
Oh, he's going to go through straight on Rahal. He's going to pull to the outside line. No, it's too early. You've telegraphed your move now, because Rahal is now going to be able to play a little factor in with Daly, because Daly's going to use him like a pawn. You've telegraphed it. Pato's going to try. Yeah, look, he's straight away defending it. That was so obvious. Pato's smarter than that. You can't use those tactics against Connor Daly. He's gone against everybody. He knows everything.
The thing is, Daly got caught out by the back marker in front, and I think Pato saw that as an invitation. The problem is that he's not ready for that yet. You've got to give yourself a chance to figure out what this back marker is going to do, because as you said, there's no blue flags on the ovals, so the onus is on the guy behind to make the overtake. You've got to give Connor a couple more laps just to figure him out. You've got to try and suss out what he's going to do in this situation before you pounce. Now he's got the chance of 2 cars to make this move. Up on the inside goes Connor. The back marker pinches and lets it go. That's fine. So that gives Pato a chance to dial back out. So that's why it wasn't going to work in the first one. Oh, that's gorgeous from Ferrucci on Herta. Lovely job.
And now that's going to leave Herta vulnerable to the back, as well as through on the inside comes Rasmussen to move up into 7th position. And Rasmussen's immediately going to go high. Don't go into the wall like we saw Will Power. He was able to collect that quite nicely. Middle of turn 4. He's going to go low. That's Ferrucci getting through. Lap traffic of the 30. So that's Devlin DiFrancesco, who caused the first caution of the night, but he is still going. He is 57 laps down in this race. We just sort of smile and nod politely.
So Pato's dialing back in. He's given himself a frame of reference, just come back a few tenths away from Connor Daly. Here we go for the second back marker in the chase. Malukas is only 1.8 back, by the way. This is what I was telling you about. Malukas has got a good car. He just needs to settle himself in and calm down a bit, and he can dial back into the leading 2. The traffic is where it's going to be key. Malukas isn't out of the win yet.
I've just realised that Scotty Mack is so far down the timing screen after leading this race early on. He's now in danger of being lapped. Is that really where we are? Is he just massively out of position? I need to see that again, because that was the 3 involved with Daly just behind. It can't be that far. Where is he on timing tower? 5-3, 3:21. Yeah, so 3 times across the line now. So he's still in position in 5th.
Rossi pits. Rossi's pitting.
That's early.
That is very early. I'm not quite sure what's going on there for Alexander Rossi. Maybe there's a mechanical issue. Otherwise, it's very early indeed, and that's worth keeping an eye on.
Oh, Rasmussen's passed Ferrucci. So Rasmussen's got back up into 6th position. I'm going to say it now. Award's going to have a go here. I don't think Award's going to win this race. This is going to be Daly or Malukas to try and get through. Please
My
don't.
money's on Malukas. I think he's still got something coming.
he's called too many times at this circuit not to finally have the chance to win. Today is the day that we see people's true selves. You know, Robin Kubica dominating in the final couple of hours, triple stinting himself to go, what was it, 3 hours in the car, the maximum duration he could do, and he took it to the end.
He's within a second. Malukas is within a second of O'Ward now. This is going to be serious killer stuff. O'Ward is going to be trying to make the move on Daly, and if he's not careful, he's going to let Malukas get him before he even makes the first move. Right, here comes Ferrucci. Oh no, sorry, that is Rasmussen round the outside of Scotty McLaughlin. Oh my goodness, Rasmussen's got absolutely no filter, and he's got no fear glands. Look at him, he's going to take him. Beautifully done. Rasmussen is so dialed in today.
He has literally left F2 behind, hasn't he? Rasmussen is now fully IndyCar material. Daly's boxed, O'Ward's boxed, Malukas boxed, and they've picked it at the wrong time. So Daly's got him first, and then the next time by, they're all coming in together. So Daly should keep the lead of the race here. He's got the net advantage. He can fuel just a tiny bit longer and get back. Burns up the rears and gets going. Only primaries allowed. And now look, here comes O'Ward. Yeah, so this should be Daly in the net lead of the race. That's perfect.
That's really worked out well for Junkos, hasn't it? And he's given himself a bit of clearance.
I never like this. Let's see if pit road there.
Nick Snyder, they said there is no fuel saving here. They're going to push as hard as they can. Georgia.
Lucas wants his first win. He's been second here. He's been third here. And now this pit stop is everything from this team. He was told before this stop, no pressure from behind. They're going to take a half turn of wing in, 4 tires. They're going to fill it up with fuel.
Got the marks there for David Malukas. Usage of the lanes.
Herta's getting a longer fuel stop. Don't stall it, away he goes. So that was a smooth setting away.
Malukas is looking so strong out of this pit stop. Right, there comes Daly. There he goes. He's going to have the speed problem. He's going to have the speed efficiency here. He'll storm straight past Malukas. No worries at all for Daly. But they've actually beaten him out of pit road, technically speaking. But look, Malukas, hang on a minute.
Where is he?
They're back up to pace.
Wow.
Daly's behind Malukas.
That is surprising, but is Malukas going to push too early? He did this last year and it went wrong. Do not push too early with those tyres not fully under temperature, especially on a circuit which has had so much mud and rainwater on it. We've got rained out 2 days running here. The track's still not fully gripped up. You can't push too early. It's there, smoking up. That's Ericsson? That's Kirkwood leaving the pit lane. Ericsson there too.
Well, this comes back to what you were saying a couple of minutes ago, Josh, about the Junkos team just filling the fuel a little bit longer for Daly. I think that's what's put him behind Malukas, but that gives him the advantage long term because he can go a little bit easier in pursuit of O'Ward and Malukas. And now look, Malukas is going to get held here. This isn't easy, and he's going to go wide into the eyes, into the wall. Malukas hits the wall.
It's happened again. That's the same thing, but has he got away with it? We've got a caution out again, but I think he's got away with it. Can't see any tyres down. Oh no, damage.
That's really fast.
Oh, it happened again.
He went in so fast though, Josh. That's the problem. He's never going to be able to pick that up again. The car may look okay, but that's gone in so fast at such an odd angle. There's no way that wasn't contact. Look at it. Look, it just washes out from him. That's going to be a right rear push rod broken. No worries at all. What a shame. Look at it. Just swaps out from him.
That's exactly where power crashed.
Yeah, that's big damage. That's big damage. It doesn't look like it's particularly heavy, but that is big damage.
Caution comes at the wrong time for those who haven't stopped yet either, and that includes Scott Dixon, who hasn't stopped yet. Neither has Felix Rosenquist, Christian Lundgaard. They have yet to come in as well, so that scuppered their plans, and Dixon was on a good strategy to pick up a late caution, and not now.
Lucas is still circulating, Josh. He's not pitted or anything. He's not broken down.
He did this last year, and it ended badly, and he caused another caution. Yeah. They need to remember. What is it with him? He needs... Every year he comes back here, I think, oh, he's going to learn something different. Oh, he's always fast here. He doesn't learn. It's
confidence.
Yeah.
It's all come back to confidence for Miller. Yeah, absolutely. Well, he needs He needs a big result. He needs a really big result at one of the big races. He needs a win at one of the big races, because that can really change the sort of the mindset of a particular driver. Right, there is the recovery crew sorting out the debris that's left, because it's not a car that stopped on the circuit while we're on yellow flags. It is debris. It's kind of the peeling from the wall. So this is touch and go from Malukas, isn't it?
If you take a look at the timing tower that we've got, we've got the steering angle. I'm taking a look. He's in P5, and he seems to be steering okay. The revs are okay. There's no having to correct to the opposite side.
I mean, you don't know what the car's going to do until you're back to green and you're in the draft of Connor Daly, and you can try and make your way forward. Right, one man that's worth having a look at in the middle of all of this, though, is Carl Kirkwood.
Yes.
There's some kind of potential here, right in behind Pato O'Ward. Dixon's obviously not pitted. There's a real chance for something potentially special here.
I don't believe it. The one guy who doesn't have a camera on today is David Malukas, because we can show the onboard cameras, and he doesn't have one. I just tried to find it, and he doesn't have it. That's so annoying.
That's just the way, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. You can use the onboard cameras on your watch-along stream. Just credit the INDYCAR app. All is good. Yeah, can we have them all, please? It's so... You take with one hand. Although, I'll tell you one thing. They came in so handy when we had that power cut in round 2.
Imagine.
Everybody just flocked to us because we were the only one broadcasting. Right, 199 at 260. I don't know how Tom Gamel's still awake. He's done the same amount of hours I have.
Tom is just built for this. He is such a lover of INDYCAR. We always used to bang on when we were talking about GP3 broadcasts and World Series by Renault and Auto GP. The conversation would usually track back to INDYCAR. You know, Tom has always been a lover of the INDYCAR series, and so for him to get this gig, I knew how important it was for him. You know, as a broadcaster, he's absolutely made for play-by-play INDYCAR. He gets so fired up for this, and it was fantastic. You know, as soon as the announcement came in for Indy 500 clashing with Canada next year, he was the first person I was on the message to. I went, I bet you're absolutely spitting feathers, aren't you? He went, no, I won't. We're going to have a better show than them. So he just absolutely loves it.
Get waved around. We'll rejoin behind him.
So Dixon.
That's Scotty Mack being told that he'll be pushed back a little bit. So Dixon is going to box. He's got no choice. He has to. This caution's come at the worst time because everybody just boxed. So it's pointless. But yeah, Tom is fantastic. There was a race last year, I believe it was Laguna Seca, where we'd just come off a rain delay of NASCAR, and all the broadcast plans got ripped up and shredded because we were supposed to go from one to the other with the same broadcast team. So I had to leave NASCAR as Dixon comes in for new fuel and tyres and a new aero screen tail off. So I had to leave the NASCAR broadcast and take it completely on my own. And Tom's been on the channel before. He's a good friend. He always helps out. And I said to him, Tom, I am dead. I have been on my feet all day. I have got nobody else around me. I'm going to shout my bits and then I'm going to pass to you during the ad breaks. Please, please keep me awake. And he was all throughout the broadcast, during his segments, throwing little nuggets of information my way to make sure I was still keeping awake. That's how kind he is. He's focusing on his broadcast and he's still helping me. He's such... He helps everybody. He's such a lovely guy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere near as good a television broadcast commentator as I would be had I not been working with Tom for the first 4 years at Eurosport. And he was my guide. He was a fantastic mentor, a guy to sit beside all the time. I'm such a better broadcaster now for having him in my camp, and I'm really, really grateful to what he gives to people in general, not just to me. I think, you know, there are certain people in this sport who have a reputation for just, you know, completely effortless philanthropy. And Tom Gamore's absolutely up there for it. He's a wonderful person, and the sport is so much richer for him. And yet, he nowhere near gets the credit and recognition he should.
And that always annoys me. And
yeah,
I wish. Part of me wishes he didn't do the IndyCar broadcast, because I'd love to have him on here for a couple of races a year. That would be so much fun. But he does them all, unless there's something else clashing, which it's only happened twice to us. But no.
Right, field going past safety car to recorrect positions. Finds Dixon again.
Yes, here we go. Oh, okay. That's very unusual from the team.
I don't understand that.
No, I don't. Dixon boxed, and they've let him keep the lead.
Why is that a possibility? He's on the lead lap. So why would Dixon... He wasn't a lap ahead of everybody else, was he?
He was not. Oh, hang on a minute. Possibly.
Or was he, though?
Is that... Everybody else had boxed bar him, he would be a lap ahead.
Oh, well. I mean, it's going to... Well, that means it's going to be Dixon, O'Ward, Kirkwood, Daly and Malukas then.
Timing and scoring didn't show us that. We've had to calculate that ourselves. Joe, we got on it. This is a thing. Right, okay.
This is fascinating then, if Dixon has basically been lucked into the lead. So, you know, where was Dixon before that? He was about, what, 8th or 9th before that? And now here he is in the lead.
And now we don't know. That's the two McLarens, but that's Siegel ahead of O'Ward. And Siegel is down in 21st position. And Lundgaard's into the pits. Hang on, car. Well, go on.
Well, I know it's your first season in IndyCar, but even Kyle Kirkwood, IndyCar race winner, had the same question you did. How's Dixon leading?
Right, okay.
He's doing Dixon things, man. That's what Scott Dixon is known for.
Okay, I'm glad that even they don't know. It's not just my sleep-deprived brain that is messing up. How is Scott Dixon still... They're going to have to stop this and figure this out, because they've messed it up.
So, interestingly, Warren Haig tells us, from what his observation is, you know, everyone pitted, so he was 2 laps ahead. And so, obviously, when he pitted, he was 1 lap ahead. So now they've got to reset it again. Everyone else that's out of sequence gets the opportunity of a free pit stop here now.
Oh, this is so confusing. This is why...
Yeah, this is going to take till lap 210 to reset.
Yeah. I think you lose 2 laps when pitting here onto green. You do, yeah. So that's...
Yeah, that makes sense now.
50-second stop, 25-second lap, 2 laps lost. Dixon was 2 laps ahead. But I can't reverse the footage on the timing tower to find that out if he was 2 down. Hang on a minute, this might tell me. I'm having to go to the alt data to show me the last lap pitted.
I think he was. I think Warren is correct in suggesting that, you know, there was a 2-lap deficit there.
Yes, he was.
To Dixon. So, yeah, Warren is right.
Oh. I have no idea where that's coming from. Where the hell did that come from?
Check out this.
Oh,
We've
right.
got Dixon from Pato O'Ward. This is going to be one heck of a restart, isn't it?
I've just got a jump scare from Scott Dixon's onboard camera that suddenly decided to play. I apologise, everybody. That did not... I tell you what, that kept me awake at 3:30 in the morning. Right, let's return to the live timer, shall we? Naughty Scott Dixon's camera. So, Dixon, O'Ward, Kirkwood, Daly, Malukas, McLaughlin, Rasmussen, VK, Ferrucci, Herter, Rossi, Palou, Schwartzman, Armstrong, Simpson, Ericsson, Stingray Robb, Lundgaard, Eilert, Rosenquist, Siegel, Abel, Rahal, Devlin Francesco, that's your 24. We're getting ready to restart here in St. Louis out of the last corner, and Dixon somehow leads here at Bombarito. We've got 3-1 in the restart already. The two McLarens getting into the way as well. Carl Kirk was trying to go around the outside of O'Ward into turn 1. Backing out of that comes Siegel. 3 wide still in mid-pack, and there's contact, and somehow we stay green. That's the second time we've had contact through turn 1, and we've kept the race running. Dixon leads. Ericsson now as well in the middle of the pack, causing problems. Pallot's in the middle of that on the low line. He can't get involved. He's got a challenger to think of. And Herta moves up the order. Lungard's in there too, but Dixon leads Kirkwood O'Ward. Okay, good restart. Everyone survived. 5 wide. Yeah, sure. It's not dangerous enough into turn 1.
Kramer's on the move. It looks like both drivers trying to get their way back into this top 10 through the pack. Nice opportunity on the inside on O'Ward to try and go for Kirkwood. I did think Kirkwood was going to be strong on this restart. Daly still in the top 5 though, P4. Then McLaughlin, Rasmussen, Ferrucci, and they are looking a little bit more stationary as they run their way down to the first corner now. O'Ward is going to be the next one in the train here to make the bid, but he's got to get back on terms with Kirkwood. Dixon, how does he luck himself into these situations? He is just the master of the reappearance.
He's won here twice before, 2023 and 2020. He's had race victories here, but he's never had pole and victory in successive seasons, unlike the other 2 victors of Newgarden and Power. Both of those are out of the race. So Dixon better be careful here, otherwise he might get the 3rd winner retirement. And it's anybody's luck to be a victor here at Gateway.
This is such an important race to win for everybody, because where is Alex below? P16.
Yeah.
This is a big opportunity. You cannot waste this. This is a really exciting chance now for all of the drivers in this race to try and pick up some big points on Palou. And you may not get many more opportunities this year.
Palou may not be good at ovals, but we are adding ovals, including the last race of the season is an oval, so Palou better watch out. But he got the championship there last year. He seems to be better. But, of course, we all know who's going to win this race. It's going to be Carl Kirkwood, because it's either Palou or Kirkwood. They are the 2 winners this year who keep trading it around like it's a Tamagotchi. Down the back stretch we go. Dixon's looking a bit slow out of turn 2, but O'Ward's catching up as well. And actually, using all the hybrids, Carl Kirkwood, that's why Dixon looks slow. He didn't use any of the hybrid power. He's using in the corners. Complete mix again like we saw the 500. Some drivers like to use the hybrid in the corners, some on the straights, and that's just giving us a false narrative.
You know what? There's one man in this that we have got to stay glued to, and that's Rasmussen.
Yeah.
His pace has been absolutely vapid since the start. And now he's in the top 5, having been 25th. This is a really massive opportunity for Rasmussen, and he's got the lack of fear factor. You know, at this point in the race, some of his moves have just been stellar. He's got sawdust where his brain should be at times, but this is absolutely game on for Rasmussen. He's got McLaughlin in tow. He can use that to his advantage. He can bring himself closer to Daly. If he can just hop onto that rear draft of O'Ward, the win is possible.
What I love is we're ticking down the laps here. They come so thick and fast. We're only 45 to go now, and we are getting into the sweet spot that this track delivers only at night races that we run here. The track at its coolest, at its grippiest, and then you just go all out war on a fresh set of tyres. Everybody should be good to the end, and it is literally just go for it. Warren says, remember when Power was no good at ovals and the season final was at Fontana and he crashed and lost the tyre like 2 years in a row? I do remember that, 2012 as well.
Nighttime racing on the ovals, sensational. I mean, just imagine, right, this is insanity what I'm about to offer up here, but just imagine 2026, there's this conflict between the Indianapolis 500 and the Canadian Grand Prix. What if IndyCar comes back at that cheap shot by saying, okay, fine, you have the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll run the Indy 500 at night for the first time in history, and it'll be the greatest Indy 500 of all time.
Yes.
And that will show you right. That will serve you right.
I'd stay up all night for that. I mean,
As would I.
NASCAR. Oh, that's Scotty Mack. Into the pits.
Something's wrong at the rear. Something's wrong at the rear quarter.
Penske have had no luck here today at a track that served them so well over the past decade. So, yeah, that's Cosmic Force obviously not on their side tonight.
Now, Racing Karma's come back to bite, hasn't it?
Yeah. Forget bite. Scratched, mauled, ripped off limbs, cooked, charred, eaten, saved it for a Tupperware meal party later. It is everything for those 3. We haven't even seen where Newgarden is after he went flying.
Right. Daly is getting back on terms with O'Ward here. This is getting a little bit spicy for third position. This is what Rasmussen needed to stick with. Rasmussen's got pressure now from Ferrucci. If Ferrucci gets Rasmussen, the win's over for him at this point, because Ferrucci is the man who's looking pretty quick at this stage. Daly is getting back on terms with O'Ward. O'Ward is hustling Kirkwood. Dixon's just being Dixon. I don't think Kirkwood's really close enough yet. Either that or he's just biding his time. Yeah. Kirkwood is just going through the motions, counting down another 20 laps. Oh, McLaughlin's out of the car. Game over.
All three Penskes are out for the first time this season. Georgia is standing by. I'm sure we'll hear in a second. But Scotty Mack is furious. Well, he's seen what his old rival has done in NASCAR earlier on today, and he thought, whoa, Dixon brushing the wall exit of the last corner, and that is just going to bring Kirkwood back into the mix. Dixon just knows the limits around this track, doesn't he? He knows exactly what to do, and now he's having to go on the defensive. 1, 2, 3, 4, back, 5, 6. Do we count Rossi in 7th? He's just outside that battle for a race win.
I mean, that's astonishing from Dixon, just his presence around the racetrack to be able to whisper the barrier like that. Sterling Moss always used to talk about Juan Manuel Fangio with the straw bales. He always used to say, no, he never touched the straws, he just flicked them. And it's that precision that made him such an artist behind the wheel. Dixon, in a world where flicking anything is going to put you out of the race, essentially, and Dixon able to get it down to a fine art whilst in the lead at night at St. Louis. I mean, that's just unbelievable. His precision and his dedication at the front. That's why he is such a master.
Jim Ganassi could do with a victory for the 9 squad. It's all been going the 10's way. Dixon's feeling just a little bit left out. He thought the 500 might be an opportunity. Didn't really go his way as well. The fuel strategy wasn't right. Drama upon drama. And then, of course, Alex Palou just took the absolute mickey out of everybody by becoming the most predictable winner, the most unpredictable race. But Dixon's slow out of 2. He's got very wide and he nearly touches the wall again. This is Kirkwood's opportunity. If he wants to put the power down, let's hear Georgia's down there with Scotty Mack.
And come out lucky it happened at 2, because coming down the straight just went bang. It's like someone hit me. I thought someone was beside me, but the spider said I was clear. So really bumped everyone on Dex Energy and Chevy. We had a fast car, just not a clean night, but some questionable stuff, man. Like a couple of times, the Malukas thing pulling out in front of me, us getting the penalty for that. Yeah, just got to look back at it. Very disappointed because we had a really decent car, good run going, but anyway, that is what it is.
Disappointing. Thanks, Pat.
Georgia Hennebury down there as well. Pit stops coming. Armstrong, Rasmussen, Herter dive down lane, so they can't make it yet. And Kirkwood's feeling very racy indeed. That's straight in the eye of the needle. Go on, Kyle. Go on, go on, go on, go on. Oh, that would have been a great move. High line into 1. That was the dirtiest. But Dixon's vulnerable. I don't know what's happened. He's lost all his pace all of a sudden. And Kirkwood, rabid dog, is going to go for the old Tiger. Up high. No. Down low in that one.
It's the traffic. It caught Scott Dixon in a bad place. And now look at Pato O'Ward. He's got potential here. If Kirkwood messes this up with Dixon, Pato's going to pounce. This is really going to be close to the end. What's fascinating, though, is that the others in the chain, you know, Daly's pitted. So is Malukas, I think. Armstrong's pitted now. Certainly we had Rossi come in a short while ago. He was up into about P7. So the cycle of pit stops is coming very quickly indeed here. But whoever pits first dictates how they get out of the pits in a decent run. Dixon, Kirkwood or O'Ward, and Ferrucci's not a million miles away here either.
Strange how quickly we needed pit stops here. It's a very unusual situation. As I said, we've got less grip on this circuit than ever before. If the rain hadn't come, look, you can see the oil and the dirt on the exit of the circuit here. That's a brilliant example, actually. Thank you very much, Fox. The rain that came down over the last couple of days, it didn't... Daly's in the pits. Yeah. It didn't just wash away the grip. It brought on the mud, it brought on the oil, it brought on everything, and this track does suffer with weepers. So, yeah, it's horrible.
Dixon so nearly in the wall again. He's desperately trying to build this momentum back up on Kirkwood, because these guys are back in the pits one more time, imminently. So he's got to try and time it just to perfection. And you've got to be careful, because with these rotations of coming in, coming out, the yellow flag could be imminent. You don't want to be the first one to blink if there's a yellow flag at the same time.
Problem is, we run out of laps so quickly. If we have a yellow flag inside the last 20 laps, we will be going to a red flag. Also, by the way, many people have also noticed what we brought up in the Canadian Grand Prix commentary. FIA, again, not dictating their own rules. It should have been a red flag situation. It wasn't. So they have yet to clarify that. They put it in the rule book, and they've taken out the rule book again. They don't know what they're doing again. That should have been a stoppage for a 2-lap shootout. But
I completely agree. Yeah, I think they needed to, if they're going to set that precedent, then they need to stick with it.
Yes, it was a mess in 2023 Australia, but we had it again after that. So, you know, it's been set, you do it. Can't just give and take. It's not fair.
Right, O'Ward is getting some proper assistance here from Siegel, who is a lap adrift, but they are working in unison. Look at it. Siegel is kind of giving himself the rear gunner mode to keep O'Ward away from Ferrucci for the time being. This is real gamesmanship. And McLaren is again. Dixon is literally millimetres from the wall coming out of 4.
He's going to get it wrong.
How does he nail it every time? It's like a slot car going through.
1 year in 2023 after starting 18th on the grid. He's started, guess where? Again, so 11th here. Dixon started 11th today. Last time as well, he started 11th. He finished 5th back in 2017. Come on, what have you got, Scott?
I think Kirkwood's just pitted. Yeah, Kirkwood's gone in. He's decided to go for it. So Kirkwood's blink first. Now that could be a masterstroke.
Well, Dixon's looked into this position by the virtue of the safety car. So this is now an opportunity that he needs to take into his own. And this is what we're going to see. Kirkwood pitch, Georgia.
All night long, and it showed as he worked his way through the field.
There we go. Worked his way all through all night long. But look at the third position. Who could just play it right? Santino Ferrucci. Dixon's coming in, isn't he? I can sense it.
He doesn't want to give Kirkwood any chance of undercut.
Santino's tyres, 43 laps old. He's running on fumes in these positions. So is O'Ward.
You've got to feel for Rasmussen in this situation. He's had a spectacular charge through the field, and now he finds himself quite a way back, actually, from the returning Kirkwood. They've made their pit stops, both of them. Kirkwood 10th, Rasmussen 11th. I genuinely thought he was going to be more of a force in this latter stage. In comes Dixon. Here we go. This is it. This is the moment where we get to figure out who's really going to win this race.
Why have I got a feeling Santino Ferrucci is about to give us the biggest shock on the planet and win a race? O'Ward's got the lead here. VK is now moved back up into third position. We have not talked about him in a very long time. But how about the rookie, Robert Schwartzman, up into 4th position for Prema, the pole man of the Indy 500. Is he going to get redemption as Dixon? Oh, that's a slow stop, actually, for Scott. That was not perfect. That was very sloppy from Chip Ganassi. But O'Ward's in, too. O'Ward's dived in. Ferrucci leads. Well, how long can you go on your fuel tanks? Because this is now a fuel-save race, and we've seen that happen several times before.
So is there going to be... Well, we need to be watching Dixon here, really. We need to figure out where he is in relation to Kirkwood, because Kirkwood was obviously the first one to make this charge. There's Ferrucci. He can't, surely, Ferrucci can't make this go far enough to... Well, maybe he can. Maybe he can stretch this out another 5 laps or so and then go for a shorter splash and dash.
No tyres, just fuel.
Right, where's Dixon? Right, there's Siegel. Oh, no, sorry, that is O'Ward coming out of the pits. There goes Kirkwood.
Got him.
So Kirkwood's still in front of him. Well, where's Dixon? He's behind them both.
Oh!
Dixon's behind them both. Kirkwood's lucked into potential net lead here.
That slow stop has cost Dixon massively. So that is O'Ward ahead now. So Kyle Kirkwood should have effective, as you say, Jake, race lead. Ericsson's moved up to 3rd. VK's decided that's time to box. 20 to go. And now, all eyes on Ferrucci, Schwartzman and Ericsson. We need the timing tower to reset itself. I'm trying to see Kirkwood's name on the timing tower, but it doesn't want to play ball today.
how far into this race does Ferrucci go? And also, crucially, how far into this race do Schwartzman and Ericsson get to go? Because they might get a top 5 out of this, you know.
Confirmed. Kirkwood, O'Ward, Rasmussen, Dixon. That's the order.
Rasmussen might get a podium here then.
Oh, I feel sorry for Scott. He would have got his hopes up there, but all eyes on Santino Ferrucci now. We've seen fuel-safe races here before. This will be a mega one if he can do it.
Warren Heck's been listening to us and Fox. Incredibly, Fox think that Callum Eilert might have enough fuel here.
Oh.
What an opportunity for a real hoodwink. This could be the biggest steal since the Great Train Robbery.
38. He has, you know, 38 laps on those tyres.
Oh my word. If Callum Eilert suddenly becomes the rogue person in this race to suddenly realise, look, we can just think about this and wait and wait and wait, and we'll come and sneak in and grab the cookie jar before anyone's got their mitts in it. This is an opportunity knocking for Callum Eilert.
Oh, please, that would be so good. Prema deserve it, and to win a race in their first season, and Callum Eilert win a race would be fantastic. But equally, you've got to give credit. Yes, he was an interesting chap in Formula 2, but Santino Ferrucci has come to America, and he has had a somewhat turnaround into a respectable racer. And he always goes well at ovals. You can't deny it. Personal politics put to aside, focus on the racing. On ovals, he is good.
They've done the math and they think that Rosenqvist might have enough fuel as well here.
Yeah, 38.
So this could be a real race to the victory between Eilert and Rosenqvist, and they're only 0.4 of a second apart. Those two might be the ones fighting for the win.
So Eilert and Rosenqvist both on 41. We've got 15 to go. Ferrucci and Ericsson have done 52, and Ferrucci's in now. If they fuel save, this could be a lot. Ericsson's going to have to come in as well. Schwartzman's boxed, so Schwartzman comes in. Ericsson will take the lead of the race. Eilert is second by 4 seconds back. This is so close.
If this becomes the Eilert versus Rosenqvist show, oh my goodness, what a showdown here at the St. Louis 500. 14 to go. If they can handle this to the flag. Meanwhile, Dixon is getting back on terms with Rasmussen. This is going to be interesting. Oh no, sorry, that's the 77. He's just lapping Rob. So he's just lapped Stingray Rob. But Dixon, this is so unfortunate for him. He's just gone backwards. But they've all been completely sidewashed by Eilert and Rosenqvist, who played the long game. They've done the math.
4 to 5 stops was the minimum. Ericsson pits. 5 stops for Eilert. Eilert's done the 5 stops. Eilert's good.
He has done the 5 stops.
Yeah. Rosenqvist has done 6, so he's even more better. They're both fine. So, look, last lap pit, 204, 204, 234, 204. Trying to work it out, 204, that's 56 laps. That's doable. That is doable. And into the lead of the race goes Callum Eilert.
Oh, bring this home, baby. Come on, Callum. This is a fantastic opportunity to give Prema their first win in IndyCar.
And Rosenqvist is right behind him by 3/10. This is a battle between Eilert and Rosenqvist. There they are. When did this happen? Meyershank Racing could be on for a victory for the first time in so many years, and Prema could be on for their first.
Just breathe, Callum. Just take your time. I know you've got Rosenqvist right in behind you,
He's
but you
going
can
for
control this. Here goes Rosenqvist on the inside line. He's going to go for turn 1, but Callum Eilert's already pulled out to take the back marker to the far side. Genius from Callum Eilert. That saves his bacon for 2 laps, in my opinion.
That is good. That is good. Rosenqvist right behind him. He's going down low. But is Rosenqvist using more fuel? Rosenqvist takes the lead. Eilert's going to be there too, but that's not Carl Kirkwood, so that's not a problem. That's going to be relapsed traffic coming back through. Is Eilert fuel saving like crazy to think that, look, Rosenqvist, he's going to burn out of energy more.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think Callum's thinking about the long term here.
Because he can look already. Rosenqvist having to back off on the back straight. Look, he's going to get lapped. So Rosenqvist doesn't have enough fuel either. Oh, what a fantastic end we're going to see. And Kirkwood, who does have enough fuel, is pouncing down on the pair of them.
Oh my word, this is going to go down to the wire. This is all on Pato O'Ward now. If Pato O'Ward can chase down Kirkwood and pop something up lovely, then all of a sudden this becomes a real chase to the flag. Rasmussen could get a podium. Ferrucci is a little bit too far back to really take advantage of this, in my opinion. Kirkwood now has a shot here for the victory. It's his to lose.
Oh, we're getting in. There's about 5 minutes to go. That's not a lot. And that's an eternity. Is that... That's Eilert. That's not Kirkwood already next to him, is it? Or is that... Can't quite tell. Let's get back.
No,
There's
it's back marker.
Rosenquist.
It's a back marker again. Oh, goodness me. This is nail-biting.
There's Kirkwood now coming out of the corner.
That's not much with 8 laps to go. That could be done in 4 laps.
Kirkwood doesn't need to lift and coast like the others are. Last lap speed. Oh, come on. Why is the timer screen not updating? It's still saying Eilert's the lead. Eilert is the leader. Rosenquist has boxed.
Rosenquist pitted. Rosenquist has pitted. Right, Eilert is going to take the gamble here. Rosenquist needed to pit. They got it wrong. Eilert, they could just about squeeze this. They could just about squeeze this out.
He's 10 mile an hour slower than Carl Kirkwood on the last lap. Eilert 161.
Oh.
Kirkwood 171. And he's got 2 seconds.
No, you're right. It's gone from being 6 seconds deficit to 2 seconds deficit. I just don't think it's enough.
Callum, if I was you, it's win it or bin it, mate. Go for it. Put your foot down hard.
I agree. Because if there's even like a gallon or so, it could just be the difference between a couple of litres here or there. You're never going to get a better shot at doing this. Just go for it. Just put your head down. Just knuckle in. Wait until he's a second away, and then put your foot down.
Lap traffic, but you've still got the McLaren there. That's not gonna. That's gonna be.
Yeah, that's Siegel, isn't it?
Siegel, yeah, out of position. 5 to go. You've got to go now because you've got to keep that McLaren behind you. Yeah, look, because Kirkwood's going to get the toe. Look, the McLaren's already pulling out of the way. Is he? Oh, he's boxed. He's boxed.
Oh, he's bailed. He had to pull the trigger, otherwise he wasn't going to get to the flag. That's such a shame for Callum Eilert.
So now our attention returns to O'Ward, who's 1.7 behind Kirkwood. And don't tell me again that in one of these races it's not going to be a third winner of the season. Round 8, it's still going to be Palou and Kirkwood. You can't be serious.
That's masterful from Carl Kirkwood and the strategy team, though. They really did the math on how to gain the advantage on O'Ward, how to leapfrog Dixon. Yes, okay, the Chip Ganassi team kind of fumbled the pit stop for Chip Ganassi, but at the same time, you've got to do the math here to try and get it to work in your favour. Excellent work on the strategy from Carl Kirkwood's team. That's masterful.
It was box, box, box. Bleep sake, we weren't even close for Callum Eilert. And Rasmussen.
O'Ward has gained half a second, and there's Rasmussen right behind him. That's why. This could still go to the wire, you know.
Yeah, because Kirkwood's going to have to lift off soon, because look, second back already. 2 to go. White flag next time by. And, well, we've got a car on the way here, but that's helping O'Ward drag in, and Kirkwood's going to be under pressure. Kirkwood's, yeah, he's going to keep it, but is Rasmussen thinking about a high-line move? Eilert dropped down to 18th place. That's so upsetting. Well, what a race. This has been a surprise. All 3 Penske's out for the first time in years. White flag in the air, and we've still got to run because O'Ward's not going to give up. Kirkwood
Come on, Pato.
Yeah, go on. Oh, no, look at Rasmussen. Oh, you ran out of time. You ran out of time. That's Devlin.
You've got one shot. You've got one shot. Rasmussen's going to have to go right here if he wants to get the move.
He's going to go for it. He's going right. But how come it's still the same old winners? For the 3rd time this year, Kyle Kirkwood wins! O'Ward second, Rasmussen third, the top 3 separated by 0.8 of a second at the line. Dixon will finish 4th, Ferrucci an impressive 5th, Daly 6th, Rike in 7th, and Kyle Kirkwood wins for the 3rd time this year. Gatorade all round. But what on earth is this season where we only have 2 different winners? If Palou has a bad day, rise Kyle Kirkwood. The 2 championship protagonists are the only 2 race winners this year.
You would never have thought that at the start of the season, would you? To have just 2 people take all the silverware. It's yet again another near miss for Pato O'Ward. Christian Rasmussen, take a bow. What a fantastic effort to be in 3rd position at the end of all of that. So stunning.
If Ed Carpenter was racing, he would have been in the mix there. That's his type of race. That was great. That's a great race. Well, that was worth no sleep.
Something had to be. It had to be a good showdown to be worth no sleep. But yeah, sensational stuff.
I am thinking, I'm going to pop out the door. I'm thinking, is it sunrise?
It might well be for you now, actually. It might well be sunrise for you by now. But absolutely fantastic. A really, really good effort and a fantastic run as Carl Kirkwood gets the fireworks over Gateway. Brilliant.
So you're telling me I've seen 2 sunrises? I don't even know my body clock anymore. This is what.
Right, Joshua. I think you need to go to bed until Wednesday.
Yes.
To be brutally honest with you.
Yes. I'm skipping everything. I am out of commission until then. So
Fair play.
I woke up Saturday. I saw Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Monday morning. So I've seen it set, rise. And I haven't slept.
Fantastic. Absolutely amazing.
You head off on the rest of your day, my friend. I'm glad you could join. Thank you very much. That was a lot of fun again.
Yeah, absolutely welcome. Yeah, I enjoyed the second half of that. I wish I could have been there for the whole thing, but that was a fantastic showdown to the end. Thanks, JB, for a fantastic weekend. I'll be back for more over the year for sure.
Oh, thanks, mate. You've been a lifesaver. Take care, Jake. See you later.
Take care, guys. It
is a race win for Kyle Kirkwood, who celebrates with the 27 Andretti Autosport team. Let's head down and get post-race reactions.
Guys, is this where a championship charge starts to take shape for Carl Kirkwood?
Nice job. You did great. That's awesome.
Big congratulations from team owner Ed Carpenter for Christian Rasmussen. Drove brilliantly, aggressive, skillful, pounced at every opportunity, made 71 passes tonight. No one else made more than 38. How about that? And for this guy, Pato Award, still second in points. No wins on the season, but he's been consistent. Georgia.
Super dizzy.
A street course ace, no more. You have gotten your first oval win in the NTT IndyCar Series. Your restarts were incredible. The strategy wasn't incredible. What set you apart tonight?
Man, the starts and the restarts were big, right? Like, that was absolutely huge. But we were not too happy with the car yesterday, and we had got some help from the teammates, made the car really good, and came home with. Went on track with an amazing car. And in the beginning, I really didn't think that we had it, but as it got dark and it cooled down, this Honda and this Andretti Global Siemens 27 just came alive, right? And hats off to these guys. These guys killed it in pit lane. Awesome job. Everyone at Andretti Global, they deserve this. Third win on the year, man. That's incredible. My first oval win. I'm over the moon right now. Ovals have eluded me for a very long time, so it's nice to get that first one off and break that ice.
How badly did you want a first oval win specifically?
Way more than a street course, I'm not going to lie. An oval win and a road course win is what I wanted. I didn't want people to think of me as just a street course guy, right? Or else they'll just have me only going to street courses. So a little bit of job security there. This is a big one. This is a big one for the guys. Haven't had an oval win in a long time, and at least on the 27 car. Colton got one last year. But this is huge, massive.
Kyle Kirkwood wins in St. Louis.
Thank you very much, Georgia, and thank you very much, everybody at home as well. I'm sure you'll understand after being on here for so many hours, and it now being 4 a.m. here in the UK, that I'm going to take the opportunity to go to bed. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Jake Sanson for stepping in as well for so much this weekend, and to all of you at home, I hope you've enjoyed our coverage this weekend. What a race. What a fantastic day of motorsport action. I'm going to sleep until next year. Bye-bye, everybody. What a race here at St. Louis. And it's just started raining on pit road. We got that in time, didn't we? Bye-bye.